Take two tracks and call us in the morning. It is the Spin Doctors. Actually, to be fair, it is only one of the Spin Doctors. Nick Malizia has died. No, he's fine. He's fine. I'm just kidding. He's not dead. He is, however, in a period of transition. He's in a social chrysalis, as it were, awaiting to emerge into the social butterfly that he will become once his period of instability is finally made a thing of the past. That is a roundabout way to say that Nick's moving. He's in the process of moving, and so he's not here this episode.
That went really well. I think what you were saying.
You're not even here yet. Oh my God. So this is the problem about getting somebody else as a guest co-host, is they chime in all the fucking time. It's fine.
Well, I'm not familiar with the format. I didn't know how long that was supposed to go on for, so I didn't really.
I mean, historically, it goes on for quite some time. I think I did the longest intro of bullshit I think I've done was probably 4 minutes. And Nick is a master. He's very adept. He's like a Jedi at just letting me bullshit. He just sits there. He's on his phone half the time. He just goes, okay, well, until I hear my name or some weird variation of my name. Because a lot of times I'll introduce him as like Nick Pepperoni Pizza, or I'll introduce him as Nickelodeon Melodian.
Very nice. Yeah, these are all great names. I mean, I see why he is taking time away from you. I definitely get that vibe.
It sounded like you murdered him. You're like, oh, he's in the chrysalis, but soon
that's what I call my basement.
And we'll touch the infinite.
That's what I call my fuck shack.
That's my favorite B-52 song.
I squeezed his throat a little too hard, but he'll be back. They're all coming back.
I just wanted to pet him, and I petted him a little too hard. He was like a rabbit in a barn. Okay.
Sometimes baby breaks toys.
I like how everyone knows who I am, and then there's just these two mystery voices, these ghosts in the machine chiming in. I want to introduce you guys. First of all, we have a guest co-host for this episode. He is actually, we have a history in podcasting. We used to host a show together years and years ago. I don't know, how many years ago was it, Michael? Years and years? I think it was that many.
Yeah, many years. Yeah, many years, I think.
I think it may even be long enough that it is low those many years ago. I think there might be a low that's appropriate. Okay. Called Avast, Ye Scoundrel.
Beautiful.
It is defunct.
Beautiful. It was a piece of art, man.
It was a cultural touchstone of Americana. But that podcast is dead. It is also in the chrysalis
stone of Americana.
And he is Michael Zalusky. Hello, Michael.
Oh, thank you. Hi, I'm Michael Zalusky.
Hi.
I'm Capricorn. I don't think I'm a Capricorn. I have no
Michael Zalusky, 6'2", 18 to play older.
DVDA, okay. Like 18, good. Hi, hello. I listen to music. I'm very qualified to be here.
You were on an episode.
I have heard many songs from people. I know what I'm talking about. People call me to ask questions about podcasts about music. So I think that's really where my power's going to lie. Like, I think that everybody's going to unanimously vote that Nick's fired after today.
You're like the Rain Man of podcasting. Like, if I drop a bunch of songs on the ground, you'll be able to tell me exactly what they are.
Or just how many. Just tell you how many. That was 253 songs.
That playlist is 73 hours long. Wapner. Welcome to being on the other side of the microphone, as it were, Michael. You are serving as guest host in Nick's absence, and we have a great guest. He is a podcaster. He is a comedian, and I'm really meeting this man for the first time. So, give it up for Rivers Langley, everyone.
Hello, how are ya?
I am so good. But the question is, how are you?
Oh, buddy, I just planted some tomatoes, and then I ate a gigantic bowl of Korean barbecue, and I watched a guy dressed as a cowboy throw a bunch of papers at guys unloading pallets of Gatorade at the 7-Eleven. So I'm having a real LA day today.
Yeah, you're a real Renaissance man.
Yeah.
I just woke up.
For a second, I was hoping you were going to say, just planted a bunch of tomatoes, ate a bowl of tomatoes. I basically fucking live in tomatoes.
No, they're coming. They'll be here in like a month or so.
The only thing that grows in California, I only eat tomatoes now.
Actually, my original last name was Hines. They made me change it when I came through Ellis Island.
There you go.
Okay. Let's get off of catch-up related work here.
What do you think of the show? That as chaotic as it is, and witnessing a guest host. Is this good?
We're 6 minutes in. It sounds like a podcast.
Yeah, there's three white dudes sitting together talking to microphones. That sounds like a podcast to me.
Are you wearing contacts? That's the question. How bad is your vision? Because Michael and I both rocking the glasses.
Mm-hmm. No, I actually have perfect vision. I see too well.
Fiddling with tradition.
Isn't that what Fiddler on the Roof is about? He's fiddling with tradition too much?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what that's about.
Yeah.
I have no fucking clue. I was in Fiddler on the Roof once, actually.
Oh, yeah, you played the roof?
No, I played Reb Mordka, the bartender that toasts them.
Oh.
Yeah, are you impressed? Do you like that? Do you like see, again, musical chops. Here I am, right there.
See,
coming out, guns a-blazing today.
When it comes to roof literature, I'm more of a cat on a hot tin guy myself.
Yeah, you're more of a... I love roof related content, man. It's like one of my favorite things.
I'm more of a Us Wainwright.
Oh yes, yeah, there we go.
It's a thinker, a little bit of a thinker. So tomatoes, you plant them, huh? How many?
5. I got these big planters. I got every year, because here's the thing: when you go look when you're a tomato head like I am, and you start getting into it, you're obviously planting heirlooms. You're looking ahead at the you're looking ahead at the glorious BLTs that are to come, and in my opinion, you want it to, kind of have different colors, and there's a million different colors. My personal favorite, I rock a Celebrity. I rock a Lemon Boy, which is a yellow tomato. It's a full-size tomato, but it's yellow, so it's tangy, it's delicious on a sandwich. And then this year, I got one that I'm taking a chance on, because last year I took a chance on one called a Berkeley tie-dye, which is a tomato that comes out red and orange and green. It looks
seems
like a
pretty
tie-dye
redundant
t-shirt.
Name. If it's from Berkeley, it's gonna be tie-dye.
Oh, right, exactly. But I took a chance on those, and those did not do so great. They were underwhelming, their performance. So this year I switched it up. I got something called Bloody Butcher. So I believe these are just like dark red tomatoes that are juicy as hell. So I'm very looking forward to it. Well, I'll report back.
Okay.
It's interesting that the tomato world is kind of going like the hot sauce direction, where it's just like the Bloody Butcher and all that shit, dude. The next
Bloody
one's
Butcher,
gonna be like anal fissures. You're gonna be like, oh, these are so good on sandwich.
You try this donkey dick tomato? This shit's incredible.
Oh man, do you guys? Oh, dude, these fibromyalgia tomatoes are
they had one shit. They had one called the Arkansas Traveler, which does sound like a serial killer.
Or just an Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, I was about to say, I gave a girl an Arkansas Traveler one time. She never called me back.
Yeah.
We grew a bunch of man. This is Tomato Talk. Hey, everybody, welcome to Tomato Talk. Rivers Langley.
I didn't know you were going to come and establish a segment on the show here, Michael.
Just new
really
segments.
Leave your footprint.
See, again, bringing more to the show. We're really just making sure Tomato Talk. Here with us on Tomato Talk today is Rivers Langley. We're going to talk about tomatoes. It's just an NPR bit. Yeah, we grew a bunch last year. We were doing heirloom tomatoes. They grow incredible in California, as you all know. And so, like, we were just growing a ton. And you reach a point with tomatoes where it's too fucking much. Like, it gets overwhelming.
Too much tomato.
Oh, yeah, 100%. You have to either jar them or, like, if you plant them all at the same time, there's just this period where it's pure fucking chaos of how many tomatoes are coming off of the vine.
Take over your house.
It's
you wake up in the middle of night and there's tomatoes in your bed with you.
I'm not even kidding. It's like they all grow at the same time. If you plant them at the same time, they all just like everything just grows at this. And you have food for less bags filled with tomatoes. It's like, sure, I'll eat a food for less bag of tomatoes in 3 days. Like, how long do you realistically have with a fucking tomato? It's a nightmare. But yeah, the tomatoes are delicious.
So I two things that you can do. I made a bunch of salsa last year and gave it out as Christmas presents. So that's one thing. And then also there are community food banks that you can take tomatoes to and stuff
Michael,
like that.
You ever think of giving? You son of a bitch. You ever think of maybe sharing some of those food for less bags? Just sitting on them. They're rotting in his bed. He has them, instead of a mattress, Michael has a Snorlax body pillow stuffed with rotten tomatoes. That just
Rivers was about to pitch his local food bank, and you ran right over it. Man.
Oh,
All the good that could have been done off of Tomato Time, off the back of Tomato Time today.
I mean,
you had to ruin it.
You've been coasting off the back of Tomato Time for too long.
LA Food Bank. They're not hard to find. Look them up.
Yeah, no, I jar them. I make spaghetti sauce, so like I grow them. But there is a point where it's like, this is over fucking whelming, dude. Like,
yeah,
we had two dozen plants like between the two gardens, so it was just ridiculous. So much tomato.
Yeah,
all right, I'm glad we could get through.
Well, no, I was just gonna say, when I first got into it, I did get overly ambitious, and I had like 8 plants going, and I have a very small little patio out back, so they're all in planters, and it got too crazy. My whole backyard looked like a jungle. I was doing cucumbers at one point as well, and I'm where I'm sitting now, I'm on the second floor of the we have like kind of a 2 split level townhouse thing. The vines for the cucumbers were on the patio downstairs and grew up to the balcony outside of my room, and so there was one point where literally I could reach out and I picked a cucumber from my bed just out the window, just pop, like right there. So
you sound like a reformed drug dealer talking about his grow houses of the past. You're like, I used to walk outside, it was a jungle out there, and then I was doing cucumbers at one point. Man, those things were flying off the shelves.
Oh man, you don't know about my pickles.
Goddamn.
You don't know about my pickles, man. I got the whole LA comedy scene hooked on my pickles.
Yeah, you process some cucumbers up with some baking soda on your stove, and that's how you.
You're cooking in the crock pot. Yeah,
with the Uzi.
With the flick of the wrist or whatever.
Stirring a crock pot with an Uzi. That's a good way to ruin both a crock pot and an Uzi.
Please don't ruin your Uzi.
Please, this is a PSA. Please. Don't ruin your Uzi.
This is specifically a PSA to Migos featuring Lil Uzi Vert.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, was that what he was talking about? He was hanging out with Lil Uzi in the kitchen, stirring it up?
Yeah, I think so.
The way that he says that line, it does allude that he is stirring it with an Uzi.
Stirring with an Uzi.
Everybody thinks,
time I hear it, every single time I hear it, I'm just like, it does sound like you're, which is also... It could be intended. That is a sign of decadence, my man. Like, if you have so much crack and Uzis that, like, you can just use an Uzi to stir your crack.
I mean, Bad and Bougie is a living document. We can interpret it as we will. Like, we can...
That's big moves.
That is the next iteration of lighting a cigar with $100 bill is using a Uzi for a utensil, for a kitchen utensil.
You just go to somebody's house, there's a bunch of guns in their sink sitting in dishwater, like
they're all in the drying rack next to the sink.
There's like new Dove commercials where they're washing ducks and guns next to each other.
It's gentle enough to wash your guns.
And yet it's kind enough to wash your baby's bottom with. So do you have like a special fertilization method that you use on your tomatoes, or is it just like Miracle Grow?
Richard just wants to find out you shit in your backyard. That's like the only reason he has that
question. You can't drive directly to it, Michael. You gotta lead the horse to water. You can't.
No, I'm a simple guy. I just get garden topsoil and fill up them planters and plant it, and it does it. I mean, that's the beauty of living out here. As long as you keep them watered and somewhat out of direct, absolute unyielding direct sunlight come July,
right?
It takes care of itself.
I heard recently that Washington made it legal to compost your relatives. Like,
Oh, that's
not
cool.
like any of them. Like, you can't just like kill your mom and throw her out there. But like,
Yeah,
if you
it's like they didn't also legalize murder.
Yeah,
nobody
it wasn't like a twofer.
assumed that was part of the bill.
it's like how if prostitution is only legal if you're making porn. Like, you can't hire a hooker, but if you film it, it's fine. Like, you can't kill somebody, but if you put them on your tomatoes, then it's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get caught red-handed. You know, the cops are at your house. It's like, guys, I'm intending fully on.
And this is just
turning it
tomato
into
juice.
compost.
That's why my hands are red. All the tomato juice.
I was gonna say, sign me
Full
up, man. I want the mushroom suit. Y'all know about the mushroom suit, right? That Luke Perry got buried in.
Yeah, I heard about it. Is it true? It seems like one of those things that in elementary school, like, you know, like Marilyn Manson removed one of his ribs to suck his own dick. Like that it feels like one of those stories. Is it real? Like he actually got encased in it?
Yeah, so his daughter, I think, is one of the like people that was like working on it. So he's really like from beyond the grave supporting his kids. But also it sounds gnarly. They basically just sew you up in a burlap sack full of mushroom spores, and then the mushrooms, you know, your body just becomes a fungus farm. That sounds way better than, you know, being all embalmed in a box. Fuck that. I'm gonna be a mushroom.
I'd imagine you'd be digested rapidly.
See, this is the difference
like
between
that.
men and kings, Rivers. This is the difference between men and kings. A true pharaoh would want his brains pulled out through his nose with a hook, his spleen removed and placed in a jar, and to be injected with antifreeze. And then placed in a nice, shiny gold box like a Tiffany's ring.
You can do all that, but I want just some portion to be mushrooms.
Oh, it was ancient Egypt. I think a large portion of it was mushrooms.
That's true.
Were mushrooms big in ancient Egypt? I'd imagine it's hard to grow them in the arid desert. Would it not be like difficult? Anyway.
I mean, Egypt, the Nile River was like a fertile valley of beautiful greenery. There had to have been some mushrooms.
Yeah,
life
fungus
finds a way.
I was gonna say fungus is an entire kingdom. You know, there's fungus everywhere, man.
I mean, you might even say that it's among us.
Yeah, but it tends to, you know, flourish in damp.
I forgot that we have a mycologist on the show today.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
We've already done tomato talk. Here's the mushroom moment with Michael.
Yeah. Mushroom moment with Michael. Yeah, dude. See, oh man, so much alliteration. Nick is fired, dude. This is like, there is no way he's coming back.
What do you mean? It was my joke.
What's he gonna do? New Times with Nickelback with Nick? Like he's got nothing. His alliteration sucks. Dude.
Nickelback news with Nick Malizia.
Nickelback news with Nick Malizia. Did he choose the type of mushrooms he was encased in?
Oh,
is it like fun mushrooms? Is it like
from what I remember reading, it's a bunch of different kinds, and so the idea is that, like, you know, you kind of like no matter what, mushrooms are consuming your body no matter the time of the year or whatever. So they're just they got a bunch of different stuff going. So but that's body disposal. That's what I want.
That's body disposal, and that's body disposal. I just think that, like, I think that it's better to feed the planet than, you know, I don't want to be cremated. That seems like the worst thing.
Yeah, that's just contributing to global warming, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like, and plus, all you want is a funny gravestone. I don't need to actually be under it. As long as I've got a funny gravestone.
Yeah,
you know,
or like a plaque on a wall or something.
Something.
Like, when you burn a body, that feels like if like throwing away a meal in front of a starving kid. Like, you're like, I'm not gonna use this, but you can't either, planet, and you just fucking chuck me into a furnace and burn my nutrients up.
Here lies, your headstone just says, "Here lies Rivers Langley?" And everybody comes out like, maybe he's there. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? It's a fun game.
It should be like a governmental mandate that wherever your eventual headstone is going to be, you have to go and lay down there at one point, so that way it can say, "Here lied this person." Like, it's true.
Point,
it's true. You can't fucking
no.
You can't sue my gravestone.
It would be cool to buy a gravestone in a lot of different, put in a gravestone in a whole bunch of different fucking cemeteries.
Yeah, like a world tour.
Yeah, it's like you're the fucking the death Carmen San Diego. Like where in the world is who's buried in Grant's tomb?
Several people.
Man.
That's or like I think it would be hilarious if somebody that was super rich just bought up every star on Hollywood Boulevard, like every single one of those stars that's in front of
same name over and over again.
Exact same name.
Ron Stetzman.
Just some dude, like just some random billionaire who's like, you know. But I think that would be hilarious, just to troll an entire city like that. Wouldn't that be funny?
Donald Trump star. It's just his name a bunch and then Donald Trump.
Yeah, there we go.
Just to get some.
But that's so on brand.
I read a thing where the Hollywood Walk of Fame was voted the worst tourist attraction in the world, and I kind of like that. I wear that as a point of pride. I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, we got the worst.
I've never actually done it, but I've watched it on the internet, and oh boy, does it seem alarming.
I've driven by people like laying on the ground, taking pictures with different stars. You're just like...
I'm a tour guide. That's my other gig. So I'm literally there every single day.
Real?
Showing it to people and just trying to have them ignore, like, no, there's not a guy dressed as SpongeBob puking through the front of his suit right there. That's not happening. Oh, there's not Scientologists trying to, you know, recruit you on the corner. No, that's not happening. Oh, there's not a drunk man screaming. No, it's
and if you look
normal.
to your left, there's Humphrey Bogart's star next to the man shooting heroin into his dick.
Oh, I gotta tell you, so... This was in Beverly Hills. So there is a
that's where I want to be.
Yeah, so there's a sign there that it's actually older than the Hollywood sign. It's a big sign that says Beverly Hills, and I take people there to get their picture in front of it. And it is kind of cool because they have these placards around the front of the sign that have old photos of what Beverly Hills used to look like, it was like a ranch. Like there was nothing out there. It was just a prairie. And so I was telling them, I'm like, hey, when we get out there, there's this plaque that has a picture. You can actually see what Beverly Hills looked like in 1915. And as we're rounding the corner to the sign, there is a guy with no shirt and no shoes, just wearing boxers
and no service.
And he's grabbed the sign, the plaque that I was talking about, and he's just shaking it violently and screaming. And and it was like the perfect timing because the mom was like, she was like, is that the sign you were talking about? I was like, yeah, let's get this picture.
That's the sign.
I'll find the fucking picture on the internet. Let's just get this.
Just a bunch of like starry-eyed kids, like we're in magic world.
And you round the corner, you see that guy humping the sign.
That is my life every day. That is my life every single day. Is that exactly?
I just imagine you guys seeing that, and then them all in unison, just raising their cameras up and taking a picture of it anyway, like with the guy and everything.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Is there a particular star that's like the rough neighborhood part of it? Like, is there like, oh yeah, dude, right around like Gary Busey's star, that's where it gets gnarly. Is there like a...
No, because it's all on Hollywood Boulevard, so it's all pretty weird, but it's the same flavor of weird, the whole stretch of it. It's all like, once you get near like the Chinese Theater and the Dolby Theater, like and Jimmy Kimmel Studio, that's where all like the guys in costumes are. And so you'll see like SpongeBob, you know, beating the shit out of Batman and stuff. It's really fun. But
now that invites a good discussion. Do you think SpongeBob could beat Batman?
Oh, look at YouTube. He did. He literally bodied him. Just, yeah,
he
it's amazing.
Bikini bottomed him.
He gave him the bikini bottom drop. You know,
he beat the shit out of Batman. He beat the shit out of Batman.
That's amazing. If y'all want to just,
there was a clear winner.
Man, SpongeBob sounds like a bikini top.
If y'all want just a fun YouTube side quest that you can check out, just type in Hollywood Boulevard character fights on YouTube, and there's some good ones. Batgirl and Wonder Woman got into it. Like, I'm telling you, there's some good ones.
It's just the same dude who used to film bum fights. He's just like, well, we ran out of bums, so let's put him in costumes.
Well,
I watched that documentary years ago about the Superman, the very famous Hollywood Boulevard Superman. Did you see this documentary?
Not only did I see the documentary, do you know how the ending of that?
No, dude, is it really?
Did he fall off a horse and break his neck?
Dude, they found him in a dumpster. Like he's not with us anymore.
No.
Yeah, that's a
overdosed on kryptonite.
It's that movie ended. The movie had like a little like ending where you're like, oh, that's nice, and then if you do the thing I do after I finish documentaries from a few years ago, I'm like, update, click, clap, clap, and you're like, oh my god, that's the worst thing I've ever heard.
Was it like murder
yeah, no,
most likely, or did he crawl in the dumpster?
Or was it murder most foul?
I think it was the latter. I think he was looking for food or something, and
man.
got like trapped in there or something happened. I don't know. It was awful,
dude.
Yeah, so
Trapped in the dumpster.
Hooray for Hollywood!
I love LA.
Busby Berkeley dance number really quick.
Yeah, y'all really got to take my tour. It's you'll love it. Because the problem with me is like I can't turn this off the way I am.
Yeah.
So if we do have like murder tours occasionally, so I show people like O.J. Simpson stuff and Menendez Brothers and Charles Manson, but I can't turn this off. So I'm just like pulling up like, and then everybody was stabbed. Hello.
Are those official?
Right over there, I saw Nicolas Cage punch Axl Rose in the face.
Are those official tours, or do you have to like order off menu like an In-N-Out? Like you're like, hey, give me the animal style tour.
The previous company I worked for that unfortunately didn't make it through 2020, we had on our website like it was called like Ghosts and Legends or something, but it was a murder tour. And then the company I work for now, it's off menu, but it's a private tour, so people can kind of do whatever they want. But yeah, anytime I get murder people, I'm always like, this is going to be a good day. I've yet to run into like murder people who aren't awesome.
Anytime you get murder people.
Yeah, we're just here to have fun. We just like, what are we talking about today?
Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger just get into your van. Yeah. They're like, you know where to take us, bitch.
Take us on one of them murder tours. And they crack two steel reserves in the back of the van.
They're White
we're
Claws.
Here to we like to have fucking fun, man. That's what we're murder people.
If Freddy Krueger has a drink, it's a White Claw. Come on.
Why Freddy Krueger? Why?
Because of the hand, man. He's got claws, you fuck.
But
Rivers got it immediately.
Like, it seems like a really soft drink for him. Why would he have the?
Because of the claw. Because of the comedy of everything.
He
will
would
sacrifice.
Probably drink like Z-Quil or something, right? Like that seems
damn.
brand,
He's just on lean all the time. Oh, because the dreams.
Because
you don't have dreams when you drink enough lean.
What if he has to dream for you to be in your dreams?
Wait! We've just you've just solved how to defeat Freddy Krueger. You just get really addicted to codeine cough syrup.
You just drink
and
codeine all the time.
Yeah, see what happens, man.
Isn't
you refuse to leave your dreams? Be like, I'm gonna sleep forever, motherfucker.
Yeah, you just are asleep for so long that you gain all the dream power. You're like, I am the master here. You're like Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Just the hands around you, just like, oh.
Isn't that a thing with weed? Like weed, you don't dream, and then when people quit doing weed, their dreams come back, and it freaks them out. Isn't that a thing?
Yeah, it's alarming. I definitely don't dream frequently because of weed, and then every now and then when I do, I'm like, holy shit! Like,
I only ever have nightmares. If I have a dream, it's a nightmare.
So you're impervious to Freddy. You know,
I am the one who knocks.
Yeah. This is all right. All right. Cut this part of the show. We're making a movie here. This is a great movie. A bunch of drug addicts.
TM. Trademark. TM.
A bunch of potheads and fucking idiots who do too many drugs are just like, we got your number, Fred.
Dude, how awesome would it have been if Freddy Krueger showed up in Inception?
Mm-hmm.
Like they just keep going to like further level. Oh, I think that's a Rick and Morty episode, actually.
Is it really? Yeah, I have never watched Rick and Morty.
Same.
Not once. Yeah.
I thought you were a white guy.
Well, some say. That's for other people.
Some may say. On that note, we're gonna take the first break of the show, and when we come back, we're gonna find out what album Rivers has brought to talk about when we return on Spin Doctors.
I got to do a show at Grant's Lounge in Macon, Georgia, which is where the Allman Brothers played their first show ever. So I got to stand on that fucking stage and do an hour of stand up, and it was the fucking greatest thing ever.
Dude, you got the Allman Brothers bump, dude. It's all up,
yeah.
Man.
Well, it was Cinco de Mayo, so there was only like 30 people there, but hey, small but mighty. It was fun.
Still, I mean, that's a fucking incredible
amazing.
Stage to be on.
That was the thing, and I went to the museum. I toured they have turned, so the museum the Allman Brothers lived in from, I think it's like 1969 until 73, so like right when Dwayne died, and then the first album after that, they've turned that into their like museum, and they have this they have just it's my favorite kind of museum. It's just full of just knickknacks, you know, just all kinds of crazy shit. And there's a whole section of letters because the Allman Brothers campaigned really hardcore for Jimmy Carter. And so there's a bunch of letters from Jimmy Carter personally thanking them. And they're all pretty much the same letter, except for some reason, the letter to the drummer J-Mo, you know, they got Butch and J-Mo, they got two drummers. The letter to J-Mo at the end, it's like, for whatever reason, just to him, it said, I really thoroughly enjoyed our conversation, and if I am to be elected president, I will be seeking your counsel on some of the matters we discussed. And I'm just like,
bro, they did acid together. They did acid together. They literally,
like, not just that, but the idea of, like, you know, Jimmy Carter, it's like, oh, we're facing a fuel crisis. Like, well, I gotta call J-Mo from the Allman Brothers band. You know, there's only one man who can advise me properly in this matter, and it is the second drummer of the Allman Brothers band, J-Mo. J-Mo, it's Jimmy. Help!
Hey, I don't know, do a paradiddle on the timpani? That's all I got for you, bro.
Carter is probably the coolest ex-president, right? Like
there was an interview with Jimmy Carter where they asked him, like, if he had ever, like, because he was like, he always said how much of a Christian he was, and he was so, like, devoted to Christianity and stuff. That's why he's done the Habitat for Humanity and all that stuff. But there was an interview.
He's still building houses. Like,
that's Habitat for Humanity.
He's like almost 100.
He's literally building them, though.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, that's the crazy part. It's like he's literally, like, how are you alive? Like, much less building.
But there was this interview with him where they were asking him, like, if he had ever sinned, and he like was quiet for a little while, and he said then he goes, "I will admit I have had lust in my heart." And, like, that's the one thing.
He admitted to being a horn dog, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I see
Jimmy Carter's the horny
weird.
president.
I was gonna say, and then meanwhile, Billy Carter's just in a pickup truck doing donuts in a field, and you know.
Oh my god, hilarious. Okay, and we're
I
back.
recorded all of that, so I hope.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah, it's all recorded. It's, you know, we're back. Welcome back to the show.
You could have done it again. You know it's not live. You could have just done the intro again, and they wouldn't. You could cut it together. The magic of editing, you know, that kind of.
The magic is lost on me, Michael. You had your mushroom moment. This is my segment of sighing.
Welcome back to Horn Dog in the Seas.
Welcome back to the show. This is the Spin Doctors program with our guest physician's assistant, Michael.
Greetings.
He's greetings, salutations. Michael just learned how to be a real boy today. And our guest this week, Rivers Langley. Hi, Rivers.
Hello. I loved that break. It was a good break.
Wasn't it a good break? We did everything we were meant to.
Richard P.
Yeah, don't tell them. They don't need to know that I pee.
Yeah, don't TT tattle.
Yeah, come on, man. Okay, it is now the time of the show where we introduce the album, because this is a music podcast. This is a podcast where we discuss music, where we talk memories, stories, songs, albums, artists, a guitar, a big drum, all of these things and more. And so every single week that the show airs, we have a guest bring an album that exemplifies their soul, maybe, or is just some cool memories associated with it. And this week is no different, as Rivers has brought the album that he is about to tell you. What did you bring us, album? What did you bring us, album?
What did you bring us, album?
So the album is Chocolate and Cheese by Ween from 1994. It is one of my favorite albums of all time, and it's a band that has affected my life positively in more ways than probably any other band, except with the mild exception of my two favorite bands. And when I say that, I mean like bands that are still active that I've seen. You know, I don't count, because the boring answer is like the Beatles or the Stones or whatever. But like if we're talking, you know, bands that bands whose timeline intersects with my own. There are two, and they could not be more kind of different in terms of they're sort of just what they're putting out. And one of them is the Drive By Truckers, which, if you're not familiar with them, they're a southern rock band from Alabama who the best way to put it is if William Faulkner started a southern rock band. So it's thinking man's redneck music, basically. But all of their songs, they're one of those bands, they rock so fucking hard and you're like, yeah, hell yeah, dude. And then if you actually read the lyrics, you're like, this is the most depressing thing I've ever read. But they cloak it in like this heavy armor of like, good soul infused kind of southern rock with the good organ and all that stuff. But point is, they're a very serious band. And my other favorite band is fucking Ween, who are
the most joke band.
Well, no, I wasn't gonna say that, because I don't think that. I think they are absolutely every bit as serious in their musicianship and in terms of their world building. Do they have funny songs? Yes, they do. But the Beatles also have funny songs. They did Why Don't We Do It in the Road? You know what I mean? Like every band that has a long enough career has some funny stuff. Now, this band happens to have been started by two kids who were literally 14 when they started the band, because they met each other in a typing class, and I think they both liked the Beatles or something, and that struck up the conversation, and they started this band when they're 14. So any band that comes out of that sort of adolescence is bound to be silly up top. And their first record, which I did not choose because there's 29 songs on their first record, it's called God, Ween, Satan, and it's an amazing album, and I actually have a signed copy of that on vinyl, that's signed by Dean and Gene. But that record, that has some silly songs, but it also has some extremely moving, very simple sort of love songs and songs about, life and stuff like that. And I would say with Chocolate and Cheese, this is really the first release where Ween kind of found their thing in a way that is, sonically palatable to a mass audience, because the thing with Ween,
that's always a good term to use when describing a band.
They finally discovered a sound that's not grating.
Yeah, well, so I would say it's because their first record was not making it. Yeah, their first record was God, Ween, Satan was recorded in a studio, so sonically that one sounds great. It's just the songs are a minute and a half long and there's 29 of them, so you kind of have to already be sort of a like if you know like the kind of lo-fi hardcore kind of punk aesthetic, then that record won't mess with you too bad. Their subsequent two records, which I believe were recorded around the same time, they used with a 4-track, and the third record, Pure Guava, was released by Elektra Records, and it sounds like it was, it sounds like what it is, which is it was two guys with a 4-track and a really shitty tape recorder made a record, and there are songs on The Pod, which is the second record, and Pure Guava, which are like Oh My Dear, I Must Be Falling in Love is like one of the sweetest, most just beautiful little songs ever, but it sounds tinny, and the recording of it is not great. But like anything with that lo-fi kind of genre is, you kind of have to go back and spend some time with it to appreciate it for what it is and kind of hear what they were trying to do. Chocolate and Cheese, the fact that this is not, because it's it's very popular obviously amongst like Ween fans and stuff, the fact that this isn't one of the biggest records of the 90s is fucking mind-blowing to me. Just how good it is, how what a huge variety of stuff there is on here. Like, are you familiar with the record, I guess, is the first question.
Yeah.
Not like incredibly overly familiar with it, but definitely like it's got my favorite Ween song on it, and then it's got another couple that I really like, and then some obviously that I haven't heard.
Yeah,
it always blows my mind that Ween isn't bigger than they are. Like the fact that their footprint wasn't larger during that era of music. Well, it is really weird.
They are the like textbook definition of like a cult band. Like they can fill basically a large theater in any city in the country, and it's always so. It is never not strange to me going to a Ween show and seeing that many people just being like, oh, okay, I'm not you know, because it's music that does kind of make you feel like a fucking weirdo. You're like, God, why do I love this so much? You know, and then you go like, I saw them.
I can totally relate, man. Like my favorite band is Fish.
Oh,
so I go see.
I'm going to talk about Fish. I absolutely want to talk about Fish.
I didn't mean bigger in the sense that they don't have fans, because I know they have diehard fans. But like, I'm
but like commercially,
yeah, I'm surprised they're not mentioned when the '90s gets brought up. Like they're not more of like a Lumineer.
They're not the Lumineers.
They're not. No, I mean they're not more like a luminary sort of band. You know what I mean? Like it seems like they should be. It seems like they should be more mentioned in the '90s, like when it comes up.
Yeah. Well, I would almost say, because I worked in college radio in the mid to late 2000s, and I could always hear that influence in a lot of that like kind of lo-fi music of that time. So I would say, like, if you ask most of those bands from that era, and probably continue even in today, considering Ween is their first, those second two records, The Pod and Pure Guava, are homemade, and now almost all music is homemade. So it's that thing of like, these are the pioneers of stuff now, where it's like, okay, we're two guys. Can we play our instruments? Kinda. Let's do something. Let's just do something to do it, And that is not just carried over to music. That is now the reason, I mentioned I do those tours and stuff, and you try to bring up television to a person who's under 15. No child watches TV. 0 children watch TV. They all watch people in their rooms making stuff. And so that like kind of like hardcore DIY sort of elements, these are the pioneers of that. They're not alone. Obviously the early 90s is like, there's tons of these sort of like homespun bands, and this was a time in which Nirvana, I'm sure it's well trod territory for discussion, but Nirvana uprooted what music people understood about music to such a degree that they were just throwing money at literally anything. Like the amount of money,
because they're like, we have no idea what even music is anymore, so let's fucking try.
Yes, like that cannot be understated. So the fact that Ween was on a major label for, let's see, 5 records, and one of those records was a straight Nashville country album, that tells you that's it. Like you're like, this was a crazy time where they had more money than they knew what to do with, and no one knew anything. And so there are these amazing, there's
no money in music, like
right.
That's like, there's no money there.
It's done. So you have to, it's all about becoming an influencer. It's about getting your name out there, and then the music is kind of an advertisement for your brand or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I'll see all the like, I'm on TikTok a lot, and so I'll see all these like TikTok people that have like millions of followers, and that's what they're known for, is being TikTok people with millions of followers. And then you like look at their website or whatever, and it's like, oh no, they make music. That's right. Their thing, is they're a musician. But you never know, because all they do is like wear a different beauty line or put on some clothes or take off some clothes.
Right, there you go. And but yeah, they've always been an inspiration to me as far as that goes, of just being like, it's just astounding. Like I said, whenever I saw them in November in Oakland. I went up to Oakland and watched them play, and I forgot the name of the theater, a big ass theater in the middle of downtown Oakland.
The Fox.
And I think it was the Fox. Yeah, it was. It absolutely was. And it's still amazing to me. And late 2021, and then they're playing a bunch of festivals this summer. It's like, yeah, there's still a market for this, and that band they have only gotten better. And I'm like prepared to make the argument that like Dean Ween might be the most underrated guitar player of his generation. Like when you just talk about dudes who could just fucking shred to a level where you're just, even if you're a guy like me and you've seen a bajillion rock concerts, even now watching that dude do his thing, you're just like, that man is incredible. And we're not even talking about the vocalist, who is also one of the most underrated vocalists of all time as well, where people talk about male singers of the 90s. No one ever brings up Gene Ween, but he could outsing pretty much fucking everybody in that in his class, so they're like I said, throughout my life, always a constant source of inspiration as far as that goes, of just being like, no, do your own thing. You have confidence in your weird thing you're doing. If you think it's good, if you think it's valuable, push for it and never stop. And that's like the ethos of that band. So when, and I'm not mad at you, but anytime they're like, oh, they're like that joke band, it's like, they're really not. Like, they are here to blow your fucking mind, and they have funny songs. And the fact is, like, the first Ween song I ever heard is probably the first Ween song that most people my age heard, which is the song that was on the South Park album, Homo Rainbow, where it's the line is,
I don't even think I've ever heard that.
Did you not have the South Park album?
Oh, I
No,
did. Yeah.
no. I watched the movie, like, religiously, but I never got the album.
Life-changing album for me. That is where I found out about Rancid. That is where I found out about Primus, Ween, fucking the first song, the first song on the record. Isaac Hayes is introducing. He's like, back together for the first time, Ozzy Osbourne, Old Dirty Bastard, DMX, and the Crystal Method. And then they just do the most hard fucking rock rap shit you've ever heard, and it's Ozzy Osbourne just going, "Ain't nowhere to run," and I'm like, mind blowing. Elton John has a song on the South Park album. Like, it is.
Damn.
Yeah, dude.
I can't believe you haven't heard it. It was a huge thing when internet downloading was going on too. Like when LimeWire was popular, that album was one of those ones that got filtered into like.
Oh, I was just using LimeWire to download pornography. What are you fucking talking about? I was way too busy
that too.
cranking the jank to listen to any South Park album.
Yeah, everyone taking turns downloading Heather Harmon videos. Yeah, that was.
That is a deep cut, my friend.
Most people would go Jenna Jameson, but no, Heather Harmon. I love it.
And I do mean deep. Wow.
But
okay,
that would have been my first exposure to them. Like, I got that record. I was hanging out in Florida with my cousins, and they had the movie soundtrack and then also the South Park album. But more crucially, my cousin Kenneth had a CD burner. We're talking like 1998, so it took like half an hour,
a separate machine,
secondary disk drive that you burn your CD.
Yeah, his computer tower had two CD drives, and you put them in at the same time, and then it would take like I said, like half an hour, and sometimes it would just randomly fuck up, and you'd have to like throw the CD away. But I ended up just rating his, because he was a few years older than me, or still is. He's still around. He's a few years older than I am, so he had. He'd kind of cracked into a lot of the, like I did get some REM stuff from him. I did get, the South Park records and a couple of other things. And I remember downloading that one and listening to it. And that song, which first of all, the song is called Homo Rainbow, and it's about not being afraid to be yourself. It is like a gay acceptance, anthem that also kicks off at the end with Isaac Hayes.
Homo
just
Rainbow
singing.
crawled so that Born This Way could walk.
Straight up, dude, it's a great song, and it's also very, very, very progressive too. And at the end, you've got Isaac Hayes just coming in singing backup on a Ween song, where he's just going every walk of life, like just singing. It's awesome. But I kind of left it there. That was the only exposure I had to Ween until the summer between my junior and senior year of high school.
What year is this?
At which point this is 2003, 2004. So that era. And I was a huge Fish guy. I love Fish. I've seen them at this point. I think I've seen them 3 or 4 times. I saw the last time I saw Fish was at Bonnaroo in 2009, where halfway through their set, they brought out Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, yeah.
And played Born in the USA and Born to Run. And I was like, well, I pretty much don't need to see another Fish show. I'm good. I don't know if they're going to be able to top that shit. But
that's so funny, because 2009 was the first time that I saw Fish.
Oh, is that right?
I saw them at Shoreline up in Mountain View. And I didn't even, I've told this story 1,000 times, but I didn't even like originally like Fish. I was like, oh, I like a couple songs here and there, whatever. And then I got invited to go, and I declined at first. I was like, no, thank you. But right when I got that phone call, I was watching the Jim Carrey movie Yes Man.
Yes, man.
And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to start saying yes to things. And so I called him back, and I was like, yes, I will go. And then the entire time I went, I was super excited because another one of my friends that was going was bringing acid with him. So I was like, hell yeah, I'll get to do some acid at this show that I don't really give a fuck about. And we get there, and he's like, oh, I forgot it at home. And I was like, you
what
son of a bitch.
Shit.
And so we get there and he's like, oh, I don't have it. I was like, God damn it, that sucks so bad. I'm going to have like a terrible time at this show because I don't give a fuck. And then we get there, we're like hanging out with people and the lights go down. They come on stage and they start playing Golgi Apparatus. Yeah. And I just turned to my friend and I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? This is insane. It's so good. And I was just immediately like enthralled. I was just like,
yeah.
And, you know, I've seen him 30 times now.
God damn. Yeah. See, I'm kind of I've seen Ween about 8 or 9 at this point. I think I've seen Fish like 3 or 4, but, you know, so I'm not, but my thing with, Fish, I'm in the 0.00001 percentile of Fish fans. I like the studio records more. I am like, because what, and when I found Ween, I figured out what it was. Ween weirdly put Fish into a better contrast for me, because the thing is, like, I always loved Rift. I love Story of a Ghost. I love Lawn Boy. Like, all of those records are just in Junta.
Michael,
like,
go ahead and take a seat right now. Where the adults are talking right now.
Well, no. I'm gonna get away from Fish very quickly, but all of that is to say, like, the thing that I really loved and appreciated about that band was they had no commitment to genre, really. You know, and so they had songs, because I love you know, because at the same time I was listening to Fish, I was also really into like Southern hip hop, specifically like Outkast, Ludacris. That was my shit. And then also you know, heavy classic rock, you know, from my dad, you know, Skynyrd and Beatles and Grateful Dead, that kind of thing. And then I kind of came to Fish and I was like, they don't give a shit. They have country songs, they have things that are jazz, they have things that are, you know, every kind of genre.
Yeah.
And then I found Ween, and no offense to Fish, but Ween did that so much more efficiently. Like,
oh yeah, for sure, the efficiency, yeah.
And also
and
the
better,
thing with, the thing
just,
with,
you know.
Michael, I thought I said sit down.
Well, I was gonna say, all right, here's the thing with Fish, and it's not I'm trying to say this in a way that won't offend Fish fans.
Yeah, you fucking toe the line here, Rivers.
Yeah, no, I am. All right, but here's the thing, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, but
you just hear faint work noise in the background. Like, just at the slight mention of a fish. Just like
doses.
The thing with Fish, no matter, like, let's take and I'm not as familiar with their newer stuff, but let us take what I would say is objectively their hardest rocking song, which I would say is probably Axilla 2. No, Axilla 2.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, you're right. My bad. I didn't think about deep cuts.
Yeah, so Axilla is like, you know, it's just this heavy fucking, you know, fast-paced guitar that kind of gives way to, I mean, the first line is summer sitting out by the pool, so that went on every fucking summer mix I ever made for 10 years. I love that goddamn song, but you absolutely can hear the governor of that engine hitting in terms of how hard they can rock. Fish has a limit, and they cannot pass that. They can only rock so hard.
And why is that? What's the governor? Is the fans? Is it the fans that don't want them to rock
I mean, they're
hard?
like just,
or they're incapable of
I mean,
rocking
sonically,
hard?
they are incapable. The way the band is, just something about it. The way Trey plays guitar, and I think specifically the organ has a lot to do with it. Although Ween has a keyboard player, and but Ween does not have this governor on their sound. Like, so you know, they have songs like Stroker Ace, songs like It's Gonna Be a Long Night, that are basically just Motorhead fucking songs, you know, and they are as hard rock as it gets. And again, if any Fish people are mad, I'm happy to talk about this at Rivers Langley, because I have nothing but time to discuss this. But my example of this, if you want to see what I'm talking about, July 4th, I believe 2009, Fish is playing a July 4th concert in Atlanta, and they open up, and mad credit, this is cool, but just sonically it's hilarious. They come out and they say, hey, we want to play a song for America. And then they launch into a cover of Rage Against the Machine's Killing in the Name of. And
yeah.
It is, again, mad cool. Very cool that they, you know, they're on some fuck the police shit. You know, Fish is woke. I love it. But man, you can really hear them not be able to play that song to the degree that Rage can. You know what I mean? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You can hear Fish physically rocking as hard as they can, and it's a slow pitch right over the middle of the plate. You know,
I think a lot of it, you're right, has to do with Trey, his guitar style,
yeah,
and
well,
like because he doesn't have like a whole lot of like heavy effects on it.
Right.
Like and most of his effects are like ambient.
Well, and he's a composer, you know, like Trey Anastasio is like a music school kid composer. Like his instrument is a scalpel and not a hammer, and that's fine, you know, and there's room in this world to love that in and of itself. But when I found Ween, and specifically when I started like getting into their live show, because with Ween, you know, their records are great. I'm the exact opposite with them. I'll go see Ween live any day because boy, they abuse the fog machine in a way that no other band does. I believe Gene Ween has a pedal that he can press just at any time to set the fog machine off. Their fog budget, it's second only to, I have to imagine, some like, you know, black metal band or something, like just fog for days, and it's so like just over the top, and you're like, this is fucking rock and roll, man.
This is fog.
Yeah. But the way I found, you know, I knew the song from the South Park record, and then obviously, probably much like you, the other way I found into Ween was Fish doing Roses Are Free. And I always liked that. I had the Hampton Comes Alive, I had the box set. I had the great luxury of growing up. I'm from Auburn, Alabama. So I had the great luxury of growing up in a college town, and my mother is an antique dealer. So she went to every yard sale in Auburn, Alabama for my entire life. And once I became really deep into music, she would always call me and be like, hey, there's a ton of CDs over at this place. And so college kids are just moving out. They're just getting rid of fucking everything.
Oh,
and college kids have, you know, if nothing else, avant-garde music tastes, you know. So I ended up picking up tons of like Dick's Picks, Grateful Dead stuff, and, you know, and that's where I got Hampton Comes Alive, and I heard Roses Are Free. I was like, ooh, what is this? I like this song. And then I found out, oh, that's a song by Ween, and I was like, oh, the band from the South Park album. I know them. And I think it was my friend TK was the first person, because I brought up Roses Are Free, and he was already like pretty deep into Ween, and he was like, oh, you got to listen to Chocolate and Cheese. And then here we go. He burned me a copy, and this is where you date yourself as an old man. I had a burned copy of Chocolate and Cheese, and I put it on.
He let me borrow his 8-track.
Yeah. And from that first song, I mean, you talk about a way to hook someone directly into a record. My God, Take Me Away, one of the greatest like opening tracks of any record. Like, you listen to that shit, and if you're not into it, you're wrong. You're fucking wrong. You gotta start over.
This isn't even a question of like music taste or anything. This is you're objectively wrong.
It's a fun song. I mean, it's a hard rocking song, and then it's like a lounge. Like, I would say Gina is kind of doing he's kind of doing that gotta get away crazy. He's like doing this like kind of lounge thing.
You feel like he's giving you finger guns in any given moment?
Straight. Well, and you can literally hear like they dubbed in. They kind of did the Tom Waits Nighthawks at the Diner thing, where they kind of dubbed in. Like, you can sort of hear a crowd, but it sounds like a pretty chill, like kind of lounge atmosphere. And you know, they just start off with that drum, that and then right into it. And then when the band actually starts swinging, you're like, oh, this is not two teenagers fucking around in their bedroom anymore. This is like, they figured some shit out. It's one of those magic, like, you know, the difference between like Love's first couple of albums and Forever Changes. You're like, what? Which also, by the way, released by Elektra Records. You're like, what in the fuck happened to this band between the last record and Forever Changes? And in the case of Love, it was literally they got signed to Elektra and they made them get music lessons or they were going to fire them.
So that's hilarious.
That's why Forever Changes has all the Spanish guitar and shit, is they're literally showing off like music lessons that they were forced to take.
I know how to play now.
We did. Don't fire us.
Yeah. But with Ween, what the change that happened was access to technology. With Ween, the previous two records, which are very layered, you know, even though they are made DIY as hell at home, the Pod and Pure Guava are very layered, very studied records in terms of layering sound and things like that. But they're basically just being held in this little cage, which is the limitations of at home recording. Now all of a sudden they have the money to really spread their wings and fly, as it were. And with this record, you're like, you're like, oh, this is what they were waiting for, you know. This is like this was what it was all going to come down to.
And this is where everything kind of like came together.
Yeah, and boy, and the funniest thing is they didn't even record this in a studio. This is how much of a fucking nerd I am about this record. I have the book about
there's a book about it.
I have the 33 1/3 about Chocolate and Cheese by Ween.
That looks like a manga. That looks like a book you read backwards.
It is. This is a great. I'm sure like heads know what's up. 33 1/3 is a really good series where it's all just about the creation of one album, and they have this is number 79 in the series, but they have hundreds of these, and it's funny because depending on who's writing them really depends on how good they are. So this is a pretty just straightforward history of the recording of each song and the record and stuff like that. You'll also get random ones where it's, they hired some poet to write the thing and they're just speaking ethereally about it. You're like, I want to know what was the 12-string guitar plugged into? What pedal?
Yeah. You just keep telling me it was lugubrious. I don't even know what lugubrious means.
That's exactly right. So the 33 1/3 series, it really does depend on who's writing it. But in the case of Ween's, Harold Steamer, the guy's name is Steamer, which sounds made up.
No, we don't plug people who don't do the show on this show. We don't plug those people.
I just wanted to make fun of his name being Steamer. But I'm a big nerd about this record because this was the first Ween record that I heard, and every single song on it, because you were asking, when we talked about doing the show, you were like, song, a record that has specific memories. And I listened to this record this morning as I was, planting tomatoes and stuff like that, and I was like, damn, dude, every one of these songs makes me think of a person that I grew up with, or something fucking stupid that we did, or it's just a very layered record for me, top to bottom. And so I'm excited. I don't know if we're going track by track or just speaking generally, but I'm prepared
we're going track by track.
All right, I got my vinyl record here too.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I can you
really got the whole setup.
I can look at the tracks here.
Well, you kind of answered all. I usually ask 2 questions during this segment, but they've already been answered. I will usually ask, when is the first time you heard of this band? You answered that. That was on the Homo Rainbow song, and
That's
then
right,
Being Burned the copy.
South Park
and then
album.
I ask, have you ever seen this band? 3 or 4 times you've seen this band.
Oh no, I've seen Fish 3 or 4 times. I've seen Ween. I think my show that I saw
8 or 9 times you've seen
it was
this band.
8 times, I think. Yeah.
I listen. I'm here. I'm present. I listen.
I like that
may
you
mix
said
things
that
up.
every track reminds you of a person that you know. I just want to know, like, who reminds you of Baby Bitch.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the breakup song.
This one reminds me of my friend James. He's a fucking punk bitch.
Yeah. No,
we did the polar plunge and he chickened out. He's a baby bitch.
Well, I mean, we'll get to Baby Bitch, but I mean, yeah, like it's even that song, which again you could be like, oh, it's like a they say a cuss word,
It's actually
so it's
one
like
of my
dirty.
favorite songs. It's one of my favorite songs on the album.
It's gorgeous. It's like a beautiful song, and it's just like heartbreaking. It's emotional. Baby Bitch.
Wow.
I like the energy of it. We'll get to that when we talk about that track. Let's just jump into the middle of the album.
I was just gonna say there's no better way to tee it up than that. We're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're getting into this album. When we return on Spin Doctor.
I'm gonna pee this time.
It's your turn.
Yeah. Great merch idea, Richard. The fish, but instead of it saying fish, it says piss. I think that would be a great merch idea, right? What do you think?
Yeah.
Where do we lie?
By God, Holmes, you've cracked it.
Where do you think we lie on that? What do you think it would do to
on
your
the floor?
people?
I lie on the floor about that.
Do you think it would,
face down on the floor?
Do you think it would have any ramifications for you from the fan base of
Do you
Fish?
think it would have any consequences?
All right, and we're back.
We're back. Welcome back. It is now time, after long last, That's not. Welcome back. It is now time at long last. Shut the fuck up! Just one take, one goddamn take. Fuck you.
Oh, hey, welcome back, everybody. It's been a long day for you, huh, Richard?
Now it sounds like you got hit or something. Welcome back. This show's got really fucked up.
Shit's changed, man. Welcome back to the show. It is now time, at long last, nailed it. One take Rick, that's what they call me. To get into the album. And Rivers, you said it amazingly. You're like, this first song is the best way to like start off an album. It's the best opening song ever, right?
I think it's one of them. It's definitely up there, and it's also, kind of what I was talking about there. The previous two records are very, homespun kind of, DIY sort of things. So it is very appropriate for the because the Pure Guava was actually recorded before they signed with Elektra Records, but it was put out on Elektra Records. So, but effectively, this is their major label debut, and now they've got a band, so they've got, it's not just two guys doing all the work, as it was on the previous two records. It's two guys and a girl at
a pizza place.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, a pork roll, egg, and cheese place, my friend. Yeah, and so what a way to
Joke's
just
on you.
kick
That's
that
my
up.
pizza order.
What's that? Pork roll, egg, and cheese.
Yeah.
But it's a perfect way to not only start off the record, because it just starts with these huge drum, just a drum roll, and then, like I said, it has that swing to it, and it's kind of like a hard rock but jazz song. So it is still very much weird, but. Yeah. It's a catchy fucking song, and to me, it's like I said, the first time I heard it, I was in high school. I had just gotten my driver's license, so this is cruising around music for this is one of those records you can put it on, and it is almost everything is so different. It is effectively a mix CD, like it's got such different flavor throughout. No two songs sound the same, so you can just kind of throw this on, and if you do that, and this applies to a lot of Ween records, eventually someone's gonna go, what is this? And then you
have to explain yourself,
and then you just tell them, you're like, yeah, this is the band that's gonna change your life.
All right, well, with no further ado, Ween, why don't you take me away? It is very swingy.
This is a night on the town, man.
Yeah, it's very much that like lounge intro song. You would expect to see a band play this to start up.
Yeah, well, and he even starts where he's like, "Take me away, some other land, thank you." And he keeps doing that. Thank you, people. He keeps doing the Elvis thing, like, oh, like, you literally hear him make Elvis noises. Oh, yeah, thank you. Which years later, come to find out. I was going to say, come to find out, there's a record called Having Fun with Elvis on Stage. I don't know if you know about this, but it is just Elvis stage banter. There's no songs. It is literally just sweaty Vegas Elvis just being like, oh, I wrote this song about 2 years ago. Like just making grunting, like it's the weirdest thing. And it was literally just a thing of like, they wanted to print that off and sell it at shows, but they wanted to have something that no record label had ownership over. So Colonel Tom just cut up just Elvis just trying to tell jokes, but he has no timing, and he's high as hell, and he's just trying to like get through it. But I think that's where the mannerisms of the song is adopted from, where he's like, thank you, people. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Like, he's just doing that over and over.
It's his fifth show of the night. He's just like, okay, how many songs we got left on this thing? We got 8 left. Fuck, okay.
And right there is that solo.
Elvis crowd work. You guys together? Huh? How long have you guys been together?
Literally, I'm not kidding. Check it out. Having fun with Elvis. Having fun with Elvis on stage. Check it out. It's amazing.
This guy knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you're joking, but that is what the record is.
That is literally what it is.
That is literally what it is, and it's so funny because there's parts of him introducing a song, and then you hear he's like, all right, 1, 2, and then you hear like the band goes, wow, and then they fade it immediately out. And he's like, oh, thank you. Just cut the music out of it. It's fucking crazy.
If you just
It's
imagine
crazy.
like that's actually what happened on stage. Like there was no edit point. Like that was the whole song. It was like a 1, 2, a 1, 2, bam, bam, bam. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you. That was.
I mean, that is the impression you get.
There was a song called "The Rise and Fall of the Roman Empire," as written by the prophet Galactus.
Vegas shows were a lot of work, man. 7 nights a week, dude. He's out there doing that shit, probably. So.
Yeah,
As an empath, I have respect for Elvis.
Yeah, I have respect for him for not doing his work. I really do. I think that's the most punk rock thing Elvis has ever done. That and dying on the toilet, but
yeah, dying on the toilet is punk.
Dying on the toilet's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty punk. But
well, no, he did the work. I think what's important to note is he did the songs, but now he's just showing you like even the cast off, the detritus of my performance will still electrify you for about 42 minutes. You are
My
so
comet
fascinated
tail.
by me as a person that just me, somehow sweating through a stereo system, which I didn't, is rarely heard on record.
These speakers are wet.
Yeah, it sounds like that.
Atlantic Timeless Collection presents Elvis Presley saying food items.
New from Columbia Records, Elvis Gamer Girl Sweat Bath Water. Track 2 has a very sad name, because I mean, I have to agree that if I were equally afflicted with conditions such as this, I would also be pretty down.
Yeah.
And
so
if
second track.
I'm
sorry.
No, you go ahead. No, you take
that was
reins
the
here,
best.
cowboy.
That was the best save of all time. Yeah. Anyway, so the second track is whatever this fucking guy's saying. I don't.
Rivers take the wheel.
So this is the most, I would say, like controversial song on the record as far as people that I have surveyed when I asked if they listen to Ween. It's Spinal Meningitis Got Me Down.
It's Spinal Meningitis Got Me Down.
Boom. So start off with that xylophone, or I guess it's a mallets, the bell sound. And the story behind it, supposedly they were watching a documentary about poverty in West Virginia, and there was some hillbilly that came in, and he couldn't say spinal meningitis because that's what he had been diagnosed with. He called it Smile on Mighty Jesus. And so the chorus of the song
is all about manifestation, buddy. He's just being positive, all right?
He's just so the chorus of the song is Smile on Mighty Jesus, Spinal Meningitis Got Me Down. But the beginning is him speaking in like the voice of a child, being like, why they want to see my spine, mommy? Why do they want to see my spine? And it is like this it's a fucking horror movie. Like it is a child's understanding of medicine, which is no understanding of just feeling nothing but abject fear. And the reason I say this is the controversial Ween song is that anytime I talk to people, and this happened a lot in Alabama, it's happened in California, I'll say, we talk about music or whatever, and I always mention, if I mention Ween, they go, oh, I cannot fucking listen to that band. And then I go, why not? And the answer is always the same, and it is that they took acid and listened to this song and had a bad time. Because it's literally a child like asking his mom, like, why does this hurt? Why does this hurt? And whenever they play this song, hilariously, like on the Live at Chicago DVD, they always go like, all right, we're gonna play a little blues song for you, and then they'll start into this. Which, the thing I appreciate about Ween, though, and this song's placement on the record, is that all of the goodwill that is built up by that fun, happy first song, they just snatch it out of your hand immediately with this. They're like, all right, we fed you a little bit of sugar. Now here comes the weird shit. This is for the people who were into us before. So lest you think that they've sold out, lest you think that a major label has changed them, no, they have gotten Elektra Records, one of the most popular successful record labels on the planet, to agree to release a song where it's a child asking his mom if his medical procedure is going to hurt, and the chorus is Smile on Mighty Jesus, Spinal Meningitis Got Me Down. But yeah, so not that I have like a personal
Imagine
memories
if you had
attached to
to
that
pitch
song,
your
'cause
songs to the record company beforehand. You know, like, we're gonna start it out with a really good vibe, and then the second track is actually just about someone who got brain cancer. But it's really fun. It's got a great hook to it, and they're like, "Man, this sounds good. Let's do it. Let's go." Well, and I think that one.
I think Dean Ween is the guy who sequences all the records. From what I can tell, he's their producer is a guy named Andrew Weiss, who produced this record and most of their other ones. But Dean is the guy who actually sequences stuff, the guitar player. And if you know that they actually do put a lot of thought into the way the record flows and stuff like that, it is meant to be a whole piece, and you listen to it. I really do think that was the intention, was to kind of like, because Take Me Away, if you're a diehard Ween head going into 1994, this is a big departure sonically. You know, that it's kind of like swinging fun lounge song is much different than, you know, the song You Fucked Up or you know, Old Man Thunder or some shit like that. This is very different. So then it's like, oh no, here's what we're gonna do with this technological advance that we've got. We're gonna make a song that's creepy as fuck. And so boom, and then they hit you with it.
What album is Piss Up a Rope on?
That's 12 Golden Country Greats. And speaking of Elvis, who also appears on another act that appears on 12 Golden Country Greats is the Jordanaires, who are the backup singers for all of Elvis's gospel albums. So when you hear like, you know, There'll Be Peace in the Valley, and you hear those very deep voiced gentlemen in the background, There'll be peace, that's the Jordanaires, and they appear on the fucking Ween album. And so they actually got the Jordanaires to sing, you know, a reference to tripping. He's like, I'm tripping, riling and squealing. Like, they actually got these old men, because that's how fucking cool Nashville is. Because whether it's Bob Dylan calling for a Salvation Army band at 3 a.m. to record Rainy Day Woman number 12 and 35 for Blonde on Blonde, or whether it's Ween, the Nashville guys are professional. You pay me, I don't give a shit who you are or what it is. Pay me, I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna deliver in a way that is exactly what you asked for, and then I'm gonna go home and live a regular life because I'm a Nashville session musician. So yeah,
you are a fucking tour guide. God damn, you just sold me on Tennessee, bro. What the fuck?
Dude, I was just at Nashville. Shout out to Ben Sawyer. Shout out to all the good folks in the Nashville comedy scene.
Shout out to them. And shout out to Nashville. Well, I remember Nashville. I haven't been there since I was experiencing the freedom of 76.
I almost don't want to talk during this. It's so perfect. This is so good.
We have a phrase on this show, and nobody else has ever used it. We actually invented this phrase, and it's called fuck music. This is some fuck music.
Buddy, and when it reaches a nearly sexual climax at the end, that high note, I have been trying to hit that note in my car for years, and I can't even come, the park in the summer, that line, like, oh my god, it's crazy. And he's like old and like a recovering drug addict, and he can still hit that shit. He's great. Yeah, this was the first single on the record, and this was supposed to be the thing that really, you know, made him. The video for this song is spectacular, and it was actually directed by Spike Jonze. So before he won Oscars and stuff like that, he directed this video. It's on YouTube.
So they just got like everybody, like, it's so funny that they don't have like so much respect, you know, worldwide or commercially, when they're working with all these highly respected people, or all these highly respected people want to work with them.
Yeah, well, and not just you know, Spike Jonze. There was a big contingent of like the New York kind of alt comedy scene of the mid '90s that hung out around them. Like, I was listening to an interview with Thomas Lennon from Reno 911 in the States, talking about him and Ben Garant like hanging out at the Ween compound in like the woods in Philadelphia and stuff. And that was just a thing that like sketch and improv and stand-up comedians did back in those days. Was like they just had this compound where just everybody went up there and just did a tremendous amount of psychedelics, and that was kind of the thing, like, oh yeah, I'm hanging out with the Ween brothers this weekend or whatever.
Everyone's like, oh, okay, well, did you bring water?
yeah, exactly. So they you know, they had this, you know, this very like chic appeal, I think, around, you know, the mid 90s, obviously. I think it just for whatever reason, but yeah, Spike Jonze directed the video, and it was talked about on Beavis and Butthead too. So I think you can find the Spike Jonze video, and you can find Beavis and Butthead.
Hi, I'm Dean Ween. Welcome
it.
to Jackass.
Yep. This is what? This is like
I knew the
5
Dick
years
House was going to start to come into relevance with the Spike Jonze reference.
Yeah. Well, this is around the time he started doing all the skateboard videos that were like so revolutionary, where he did the invisible boards and stuff like that, and that kind of thing, and the Freedom of 76 video is the Ween brothers stealing the Liberty Bell and then getting arrested and taken to jail, and that's the video, and it's even fun. It's one of his lesser works, and even that's a really fun video. But yeah, Freedom of 76, man, that is distilled good times to me. Like the sound of that record and all the shit he references in there too. He talks about Boys to Men. He references Mannequin, the movie Mannequin. So there's just it's just got good late 80s, early 90s vibes to it. But
it definitely. You were right when you said it's like driving music. Like I can imagine driving up the 101 listening to that song.
Yeah, or as I'm gonna save my driving memory for Joppa Road, but yeah, just a hint. We're gonna be driving around the woods of Alabama here soon.
I know there's supposed to be another song that comes up next, and I'm trying to remember the title, but I can't put my finger on it. Tom Waits features on this album. Cool.
Yeah, it kind of does have a little Waitsy. I've never even. It's Waits.
This is so Tom Waitsy.
This is the other song I like on this album, or a lot. I'm not super familiar with it, so I listened to it as homework before, and I really liked this, and I really liked Baby Bitch.
Yeah, this song even at the end gets a little like Middle Eastern too. It's kind of got a like kind of like a sort of a Kashmir Moroccan sort of flair to the end of it, but
as there too, even.
A little bit there at the end, it becomes very, very like clear. It's like, but yeah, great guitar solo. And when they play this song live, this turns into a jam. This will be their 9-minute song where Dean Ween's just cooking. He's just back there cooking. But as advertised, the name of the song is I Can't Put My Finger on It. What the fuck is this song?
I can't put my finger on it.
That's what I love about it. You're like, tell me what genre this is. It's weird.
It's Tom Waits. It's whatever genre Tom Waits is, that's this genre.
Yeah, and they did this on one of the first episodes of Late Night with Conan O'Brien, too, by the way.
Oh, really?
The vocals seem really Lemmy inspired. Like, they seem very much so from that time of, like, Motorhead. That hard 90s sound.
Right. To singing through a megaphone. I mean, Tom Waits is the right, like a Bone Machine era or early 90s going out west. Yeah. Tom Waits. Yeah, that's. I've never even put that together, but yeah, it is kind of a little nod to Tom Waits.
Has I think the energy of his "I Don't Want to Grow Up" sound.
Yes,
the cover that Tom Waits did.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
energy,
like. It's like Tom Waits, but there are less human bones clacking together in the background. But very similar.
No one's working in a slaughterhouse while he's recording it.
Man, Tom Waits is one of those. Speaking of acquired tastes, but boy, when I cracked it, because it took me a while.
One of my all-time favorite. Yeah.
Same. It took me till college to really get into Tom Waits, but my God, dude, when I finally like figured it out, I was like kind of got his whole thing. I'm like, oh yeah, this is highly, highly rewarding for those who are patient with Tom Waits.
You brought up Nighthawks earlier, and that was the album. I found that at Warehouse Video when I was a kid. If you guys remember Warehouse, and
of course.
I remember just I used to go and just like pick an album, that was how you found new music back then. I would just kind of like go and be like, okay.
Based on the cover, right?
I had heard that Cream Puff Casper Milk Toast song, the piano's been drinking.
Yeah.
And I found that, I was like, oh, Tom Waits has another album. And then I heard that, and that was the album that actually got me hooked on him, and then I just grew with him the whole time. Like, I just basically was like, oh, okay, like, what's next? That's completely different. Yeah. All right. And I just kept going.
I want to do a stand-up album like that so bad. I want to do a stand-up album inside a studio with just like with a bunch of, bunch of people, cocktail glasses and shit, like people clanging glasses and shit. Like, I love that. I love the way that record sounds. That's my dad's. Not only is it his favorite Tom Waits record, I believe it's the only Tom Waits record that my dad owns. So I found it on I had it on a cassette tape and listened to it in my dad's van whenever I got to drive that around.
Do you have anything from like past 2007? Or is everything you own some archaic technology? Like you'd be like, oh yeah, I have I did my high school term paper at fucking hieroglyphics. Let me bring
Hold
out
on,
my
guys, I gotta feed
slate.
my Tamagotchi.
Yeah, I gotta feed my Tamagotchi.
Real quick, guys, I gotta pick up some Tamagotchi poops. I gotta
oh yeah, I had the Gigapet.
Oh, I'm on the Elite Four. Hang on.
I had the Tyrannosaurus Lost World Gigapet.
My claim to fame is I saw Tom Waits live with Les Claypool playing bass for him. So
damn, that rocks, man. I'm
Primus,
pretty cool. Also late high school acquisition for me when I figured out that Primus was great.
See, I had pretty much the exact same experience with Primus that you had with Ween, where I had my older sister's husband gave me a mix CD. No, actually, I think he just gave me Sailing the Seas of Cheese.
Yeah, that's the one.
And showed me Jerry Was a Race Car Driver. And I was like, what the fuck is this? This is like
Winona's Big Brown Beaver
music.
Was what got me into Primus.
Yeah, but that's on, I think, Brown album.
Yeah, it was just, that's what got me into Primus, was that. Because everything always started out as like, when I was that age, it was like, hey, this is funny. And then I would listen to their music, you know? So like that was...
That's what, I was a huge Weird Al fan for the exact same reason.
I was also a big Weird Al guy. And by the way, Tales from the Punch Bowl is the record.
Tales from the Punch Bowl, that's the one.
Yeah, Brown album I actually like a lot too, because that's got Shake Hands with Beef and Over the Falls.
Yeah, Over the Falls and Golden Boy too, I think, right?
Golden Boy, Bob's Party Time Lounge or whatever. Bob's Party Time. Yeah,
this is now a Primus fan cast.
Dude, there was I still am fucking pissed that I don't know why I didn't just go into deep debt to go to this show, but I think this was like 2010 at Red Rocks in Denver. It was literally like my three favorite weird bands, Primus, Ween, and the Flaming Lips, were all playing at Red Rocks, and I was like,
that would have been
just
fucking sick.
Yeah,
Ween and the Flaming Lips alone would have been worth it, man.
Yeah, and then you throw Primus in there. Those are my three favorite weird, bands, and they were all playing. And I should have just, I had no money at that point, but boy, I should have started a credit card and gotten into some horrendous debt.
Yeah, it falls off after a while. Trust me.
Yeah, eventually they forget about that, right?
Yeah, you just don't pay it for 7 years and they stop sending you letters. You just block enough phone numbers and they, eventually they go, it's not worth it. It's $6,000. Who cares?
Yeah, but the point is, I went to Denver and I saw them sing The Spark That Bled live. It was worth it. The unexamined life, as Plato talks about.
Yes, absolutely. The philosophers would often theorize about such things, and they would occasionally shed a tear for Eddie. I don't know who Eddie is, but we're going to find out.
Eddie Hazel. There's no lyrics to this
Hazel.
one. There's no lyrics to this one. We're talking about Dean Ween cooking. This is Dean Ween cooking, and I saw him do this live in Oakland back in November, and it was like a very just a moving experience. And I want to add, like I tapped out with weed before I got into Ween. Like I smoked some weed when I was like 12, 13, and then did it, and then right around the time I turned 16, it started giving me panic attacks, so I stopped. So.
So you just got to keep doing it, and you push through to the other side, and then it just puts you to bed.
I gave up. I gave up. I hadn't smoked any weed since like 2004. So I want to say I'm coming into all of these things, much like Fish too, like very much just like, sober. So
I was gonna say, on the Fish line, when I first re-listened to the album, this was the one that I was like, oh, this is definitely the most Fish-y track that I've heard, because I'm not a jam band guy by any means, and like I know because of my cousin and people that I know that listen to the jam band scene that these guys are kind of in that vein. So I was like, how is it that they're in the vein? I listened to it and I was like, how does that make any sense? And then I heard this, and I was like, oh, okay.
Their relationship to it is very, very fucking strange, because like Fish essentially they kind of put them on the map, at least with that section of their audience, because when you go see Ween, there are a shitload of hippies there, like just straight up. You're like, this is a band that scene loves. Ween fucking hates hippies, like, and they talk about it all the time. And like, I think Dean Ween, weirdly, like, he's had this like ongoing one-sided beef with Trey Anastasio since they started covering Roses Are Free, because you'll hear interviews with him. It's so funny. He hates that guy, and then anytime they talk to Trey about it, he's like, oh, I love Ween, man, whatever. Like, he has no, like, it's very much the relationship that San Franciscans have to Los Angeles people. Like, San Francisco people are like, fuck LA, and LA people are like, oh, we love San Francisco. It's just not even no, it's beautiful, man, whatever. But so the reference there, it's called A Tear for Eddie, and the year this record came out was the year that Eddie Hazel from Parliament and Funkadelic passed away. And so this is, if you've ever listened to the record Maggot Brain, this is very much meant to be kind of a nod to Eddie Hazel and his guitar playing style. And like towards the end, the song, in the grand tradition of any jam band, even though Ween would hate me saying that, it grows, man. The song like gets more and more complex, and they bring in more effects, and by the end it's just this epic thing, and you don't even notice there's no damn words. You're just like, it's just a moving piece of music and a great little palate cleanser. But there's a great interview with Dean Ween, speaking of being able to just see sweat coming through a video, much like Elvis. It was recorded in his studio, which it looks like just doesn't have air conditioning. Like him and the host it was done by some guitar, I think it was like a guitar magazine of some kind. So the host is a guitar player too, and so it's the host interviewing Dean, and they're kind of jamming together. And Dean Ween just says straight up, he's like, yeah, basically my entire style is just the song Blue Sky by the Allman Brothers Band, Dickie Betts, and Maggot Brain by Eddie Hazel. He's like every single solo I've ever come up with is some combination of Maggot Brain and Blue Sky. And you listen to him, you're like, damn, dude, like, I like how self-aware that is, but also he is not wrong. So Eddie Hazel, obviously, like a big influence on him, and like many of the bands that I got into them because bands I like name drop them all the time. So as soon as I got this record, I was like, who the fuck is Eddie? Figured it out. Eddie Hazel. All right, let's listen to Maggot Brain. Maggot Brain's also, have me back, I'll talk about Maggot Brain. That's one of the best records ever made.
Speaking of Fish and Ween and the impossible entanglement of the two, we've reached my favorite Ween song, and it's my favorite because I first heard Fish play it. And it's also like, Ween has a lot of stuff that's like, even for me, I'm a Tom Waits fan, I'm a Fish fan, like I love Weird, I'm a Primus fan. Some of their stuff is a little inaccessible to people who aren't like entrenched in it. And this is one of the most like radio friendly songs that they have.
No, I absolutely agree. And the fact that this isn't like a classic of the 90s is fucking baffling. But all it's gonna take, I was talking about this with my friend Kyle Clark. We did a podcast where we were discussing the band Ram Jam and the fact that Black Betty is not done by Ram Jam. We did a whole episode on it. It's a wild story, but we were kind of talking about like the new canon.
Whoa! Black Betty not by Ram Jam?
It's on the Ram Jam album. It is billed as Ram Jam, but the guy singing Black Betty,
shot a video too.
And they shot a video to it, and what you notice about the video is there's a man in the background who's just clapping and dancing along, and he's kind of dressed up like Robert Plant. That is the lead singer of Ram Jam, and that motherfucker does not sing that song. And not only that, the only person in Ram Jam who did that song is Bill Bartlett, and he did it with his previous band, who was called Starstruck. And then it was basically brought in by some producers. They put together Ram Jam, stuck that guy up front for that one song, and he didn't sing any other songs. And that song is also a remix. You can actually listen to it because producers, the original version of Black Betty is like 5 minutes long. Producers were like, fuck that, and they cut it down to 2 minutes and 24 seconds of solid fucking gold, slapped it on a Ram Jam album. And if you listen to that album, nothing else sounds like Black Betty because it is a different band.
Whoa, Black Betty not by Ram Jam.
I was wondering where the direction of that was going because I didn't know if the undertone was going to be, man, what a trash song. Because I was like,
it's a triumph of production. It's a nod to the producers and it's a nod to the genius of Bill Bartlett.
If you watch that original video too, that guy looks like he has criminal charges against him. Like he literally, like the whole vibe of that original video where he's just like sweating playing he's like, oh, Black Betty, like the whole song and just like, holy fuck,
buddy, if you should speaking
he's
of
serving
YouTube,
10 to 20 for unconsensual ram jam.
Speaking of YouTube assignments, go to YouTube and type in Ram Jam reaction videos and watch as 17 and 18-year-old Zoomers discover Black Betty for the first time. And to a person, every one of them, there's one I pulled for the episode where it's this British guy being like, damn, that is Ram Jam. Holy shit. Unbelievable. Like, he couldn't, like, because that song is
absolute unit.
There is not a fucking ounce of fat on that version of Black Betty.
No,
like, that
there
is
isn't. It's perfectly boiled down.
2 minutes, 24 seconds of solid gold. All that is to say, during this episode,
one of the most memorable intro guitar parts I could probably think of. Like, you just show the first 2.5 seconds of that song and people go, yeah, oh yeah, I know what it is. Like, if you've ever heard the song.
And that song, by the way, that kind of like that you hit it, that you the first thing you hear in the beginning is actually a gong that they ran through a phaser, so it's that pow, like it's the cool sound. The reason I brought that up, all that is to say, I was talking to my friend Kyle Clark about the idea of like the new canon of rock that's going on right now. You know, it's definitely been remarked upon by people of my kind of age and generation that, like, holy shit, Nirvana is on classic rock now. And there's a whole thing, and a lot of it has to do with Spotify and has to do with Apple Music and just the ease of access to these things.
TikTok,
yeah, exactly. Like you were talking about, like, we used to go to record stores and be like, oh, this looks cool. Or more likely, oh, this has parental advisory and a guy covered in blood. Obviously, I have to buy this, you know, like, and that's as far as you thought it. And now you just have access to the panacea of everything. And because of that, because of, TV shows and movies, kind of bringing back songs like Black Betty, because Black Betty was just a regional radio hit. It really didn't kind of come back until it was used in a couple of movies and TV shows in the 90s and 2000s. And I am still optimistic that Ween will eventually be one of those bands that all you need to do is pop one of their songs in just the right place in a big movie or a big, something, or a TikTok, for God's sakes, and then they'll be right there, because the music is absolutely undeniable.
Did you guys hear that? That was the sound of the last Gen Z listener hitting end on the podcast. Did you hear that? There's no more. I think this is a podcast for boomers now.
I'm praising the Gen Z. They're gonna save us. Their fucking taste in music is so much better than the idiots that ran these record labels. You know,
that's true. That's really true. This is Roses Are Free.
Yeah, and I should add that it actually already kind of has happened for Ween a little bit, because if you look at Spotify, their number one song by far is Ocean Man, which is the closing credits of the SpongeBob movie. Man. And so but yeah, that was the closing credits of the SpongeBob movie. So there is like a whole new generation that's gotten a hold of at least that song and is like, oh wait, this is fucking rocks, you know.
If you watch streaming at all or anything, Ocean Man is super famous on Twitch. It's very commonly played on like Twitch streams and stuff.
It's like a meme. It's like a meme song. Like
it's kind of a meme, but like,
see, let's meme them all out.
I fucking love this song though.
It's perfect.
Me too. The vibe of this one is just enjoyable. You want to just hang out. You know what I mean? Like, this is one of those chill cocktail sun.
Rick will appreciate this. I did see a meme once that said, Fish fans' favorite line in Roses Are Free is get in your car and cruise the land of the brave and free. Ween's favorite line is resist all the urges that make you want to go out and kill.
The perfect dichotomy.
I know, it really is.
There are two wolves inside of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just which one do you feed? The ween wolf or the fish wolf?
Yeah. Well, and I will give credit where credit's due to Fish. They actually do the little coda at the end, throw the pumpkin at the tree. Ween doesn't do that live anymore. They just turned it into like just building to the most intense, like, you know, rock opera-ish like ending. So they don't even do the little coda part at the end, but Fish does. So Fish actually remains
like the
more
fun part too.
Yeah, Fish remains more true to the original than Ween does.
Yeah. Tells you that the roses are free.
Yeah, that's very, very good advice for life. Don't believe the florist when they tell you the roses are free. If somebody has a vested interest in, you know, selling you something, don't fall for their bullshit, man. It's actually like great. It's great life advice. It's something I think about.
That's how you wind up on the street sucking dick for roses.
Yeah. Like
first one's free, man.
Yeah, no, it's a very good yeah, no, it's a very good artistic way of saying, you know, don't fall for the okie doke, man. There's a lot of people out there that are laying down some bullshit. Don't listen to them. They're fucking with you.
They're fucking with you. Don't believe. Yeah. That's why I don't talk to any florists at all. I make it a point to not fuck with florists. I just don't. Because every single florist I've ever met, and this is a fact, and if you're a florist listening to this show, you know that it's also true. Every single florist I've ever met is a baby bitch.
They'll leave you pushing up daisies.
I'm gonna make you push the little daisies. I feel like Michael's just on Spotify scrolling through Ween song titles.
That was actually an accident. Is that a Ween song title?
Push the little daisies.
Oh, is it? Yeah, no, I was trying to make a florist reference, dude.
Yeah.
I know nothing about Ween, dude. I have no fucking clue.
That was awesome.
Well, Push Little Daisies is like the genesis of the Cartman voice. Like, if you listen to it, they were doing that. Dude, listen, like at the end, he's like he's doing the fucking like Eric Cartman screaming, and then later Matt Parker and Trey Stone obviously included them on the South Park record, and they directed the video for Even If You Don't as well.
I love this fucking song, dude. Jam's so fucking hard, man.
It's so beautiful. It's a beautiful song, and also I saw Ween for the first time at Bonnaroo in 2004, and Gene Ween kind of fucked up and told who this song was about, and by extension, the song "Birthday Boy," because at one point in this song he says, "I wrote Birthday Boy for you, babe," and "Birthday Boy" is the song off of God Ween Satan that is also just an absolutely devastatingly beautiful song. And but I think Gene Ween had a few too many of whatever he was doing, and he was like, and right before he played Birthday Boy, he goes, "I wrote this song for Barrett Christie, the famous snowboarder." And then he starts playing it, and it's like a gold medalist snowboarder that I guess he dated in the early 90s, who's also from Pennsylvania, named Barrett Christie, and she that's who that's about, because he just said it. And it had been like this weird like mystery for years, people being like, oh man, the girl from Birthday Boy is also the girl from Baby Bitch, and then he just said it to a hot ass festival in Tennessee.
You know what's crazy? She's also the girl from You're So Vain.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
She's just the muse of fucking musicians, dude.
yeah.
Her being
That's who Carly Simon wrote that song
fucking
about.
Bitch is just what made everybody write music.
One more song before we head to break, gentlemen. I just have one question for you, Mister. Would you please help my pony?
God, this song is so fucking good, dude. It just vibes, as the kids say.
I'm going to say right now, it doesn't not sound like the intro to a children's show.
Yes,
for sure. But the 60s pop sound, that like flower age pop sound, has that effect. I think because they used it so much in kids shows when our parents were growing up. Like I don't know. I hear that a lot when I hear this like bubblegum 60s sound.
Like the Monkees and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. I hear that too. Like kids shows.
And that effect you also hear a lot in SpongeBob, which was, according to the creator, directly inspired by The Mollist by Ween.
Actually, Birthday Boy is about Tom Kenny.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. But yeah, the fun little story with this song, at least with the band, was that they had taken acid, obviously, and were writing, and they had just written Spinal Meningitis, and so they took a break, and Gene Ween is still, going crazy, and he goes down to a newsstand to get some cigarettes, and on the front cover of a newspaper said, "Am I gonna die, mommy?" And they had just written Spinal Meningitis, and his brain fucking exploded, and he ran back upstairs to tell Dean. He's like, "Dude, you're not gonna believe what the newspaper says." And Dean Ween is in the corner laughing and rocking back and forth and saying, "Help my pony, mister, please help my pony." And then that became the next song they wrote. So Spinal Meningitis was followed by Mr. Won't You Please Help My Pony when they wrote it. They wrote those songs back to back. And again, man, just the lyrics are silly, but you feel for this guy and his pony. His pony has a lung issue, and he thinks it's his lungs, and he doesn't know how to help him, man. You feel that powerlessness.
Dean kind of sounds like a bad guy to trip with if they wrote Spinal Meningitis while they were high. Like, everybody's all fucking blasted, and they're all getting ready to jam. They're like, "Come on, you guys ready? Yeah, let's get going, man. Let's write a song." And he's like, "All right, guys, this one's about a kid who's scared because he's got a disease." And they're just like, "What? How about fucking colors and shit? Can we just do colors and
we just
happy
do colors?
stuff? Like, can we just do those topics, Dean?"
My favorite Ween song is Chartreuse. Okay, we are halfway through the album, so we are going to take the final break of the show. Rivers, it's your turn to pee. When we return, we're going to get through the back half of this album on the show that you're listening to that is called Spin Doctors. And we're back. That was an incredibly monumental break.
Long break. We took 3 or 4 hours.
So we're actually coming back to this a year later. I think we were on track 9, if I remember correctly. I have to check the archives. And that song is Drifter in the Dark.
Oh, beautiful.
Drifter in the Dark. I hardly know her in the dark.
So this is classic cowboy song, which I've always had a great affection for country music. And so just in the middle of, after Mr. Would You Please Help My Pony is just this really simple, like, could be a Marty Robbins like cowboy song that ends with a really pretty harmonica solo. You can imagine, sitting around a campfire on a moonless prairie.
A very cleanly dressed cowboy. Like, that's the vibe I get. They're like, he's got
Buster
the
Scruggs.
red bandana with, and he's TV ready. He's got the.
He's Buster Scruggs, and he's just murking people on the streets. But yeah, no, I have always loved country and western music. My dad introduced me to it, and I was in Boy Scouts, and we went to a place called the Philmont, which is this giant ranch in New Mexico where we'd hike about 10 to 15 miles a day, and there'd be stops, and all of the rangers that ran those stops along the way would all bring instruments. So every night that we stopped, there'd be like a bluegrass show. So I'm like 13 years old getting exposed to John Prine songs and Merle Haggard and the Grateful Dead and just all these really cool like songs performed by amateur musicians and stuff like that. But that was when it really kind of took hold as far as my interest in country music. And then of course I found Ween, and like I said, Fish does the shit too. They got My Sweet One and Son of a Mule,
and
stuff
they play
like
like
that.
a bunch of like old standards. They'll play like Old Home Place, stuff like that.
Yeah, and then I saw Mike Gordon solo. He had a like a country type band called Ramble Dove that I saw at Bonnaroo one year, and they were really good. And Mike Gordon is I think he's the country guy, because if you listen to his solo records, he's always got stuff like Take Me Out Part 2 and things that are pretty straight kind of country tunes and stuff like that. So anyway, all that is to say, I've I like country music, and then this happens in the smack dab in the middle of this record, and you're just like, what is this band? What the fuck is this band? That they just have, like, think of what we have already talked about in this record, and now in the middle is just like a really nice country, straightforward Western kind of cowboy song. They're like, okay. And then that, of course, leads into the next goddamn song, which is also fucking crazy.
And that is Voodoo Lady. Oh, is this the sequel to Voodoo Child?
No, this is I think this is in the movie Road Trip, if I'm not mistaken. It's in quite a few movies, and it's I guess it's supposed to be sort of a swamp funk sort of tune. It's got some acoustic guitar going on, lots of bongos, which I appreciate. Something a lot of people don't talk about as far as like classic bands in the studio is when you have access to a studio, you are not limited by the amount of shit that you can carry on the road, and so the amount of percussion that gets included in studio recordings is always awesome. And this is a song that is just layered up with as much drumming as you can get into the thing. It's drumming with bongos and drums and
an army of bongos as far as the eye can see.
yeah And bongos underrated in terms of rock and roll music. My one of my favorite Lynyrd Skynyrd songs, Give Me 3 Steps. That song rocks, and if you listen to it with headphones, you can hear there's a guy beating the shit out of the bongos in the background of Give Me 3 Steps.
You know what I miss in rock and roll? And it used to be in every fucking rock and roll song, and it used to be like the best part, and it was included the goddamn saxophone. Remember the saxophone was a rock instrument?
I just meant more horn sections entirely, in my opinion. I think life needs more horn sections.
That sexiness of like that dude who's playing, he just turns and it's up, and he's got the S coming out of his face.
It's because they overdid it for a while there. That like into Stevie Ray Vaughan era of like the rock and roll with like huge horn sections.
Well, no, because like even in like the 80s, like Huey Lewis had a lot like saxes and that.
Yeah,
and like
have y'all ever
have y'all ever listened to? There's a band from the same time period as Ween called Morphine. Have you ever listened to that band? Oh, Morphine. I found out about them actually during the pandemic when I was listening to the next song we're going to talk about. Actually, Spotify just did like if you like that, you like this, and they have this song called Cure for Pain. And Morphine is like a much more deathly serious band than Ween, but their thing is they have a tenor, or maybe not even a tenor, maybe a bass saxophone instead of a bass guitar. So so their sound is like incredible, and like it was one of those bands like when you find out about something and then it turns out everybody already knew about it, and you're like,
yeah.
It's one of those for me. Like I would go up to my other like music nerd people and be like, man, do you guys know about this band Morphine? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, but it's new to me. But yeah, that's what that.
I want to talk about it now. Can we? You've already talked about it for years and years, but okay. But now it's my turn to get to talk about it.
Now it's my turn to talk about this album from 1993.
Yeah.
But
sorry, I didn't know it back then. If I had known it back then, I would have talked about it back then.
Yeah. Now I know about it. But they're definitely like talking about as far as using saxophone to the fullest degree. I would say replacing the bass guitar with a saxophone is that's a pinnacle of some kind.
Of course, as a bass player, I have to hate that my job is being gentrified. This is the song that you had a driving story about, and I want to hear your driving story while we listen to Joppa Road.
Again, the fucking vibes. We're dating this, 2022, by saying the word vibes a bunch, but this feels like slipping in, into a cool pool on a hot day. Like this song is so relaxing. It has a reference to Sunoco, which is a gas station on the East Coast. So I'm like, all right, you got that reference going in there.
They talk about Wawa a lot.
Yeah, I mean, hell yeah, dude. New Hope, PA. I went to New Hope, Pennsylvania. Sheets, Wawa.
Sheets.
I can reference one.
Zaxby's. Buc-ee's. Don't forget Buc-ee's.
I did a show in Philadelphia, and I just had some time to kill, so I was like, well, I got to go to New Hope, Pennsylvania, where Ween is from, and like scope the town out. So I drove around. I found Joppa Road. It's like a real street out there. This song is like I said, driving vibes, cruising easy, hanging out with your friends, whatever, on a hot day. So
that's kind of funny because you know Mountain Goats.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, so they have a song. I think it's Just Dance, where they talk about being on Johnson Avenue, and that's a street in San Luis Obispo where I live. And so nice. Like I have the same kind of thing. I was like, oh shit, this is the road.
Yeah, man. Well, that was like the first time I went to Olympia and I passed the road, the exit for Sleater Kinney Boulevard. I was like, wait, that's where that's fucking from? But it's like the main drag through Olympia.
Yeah. This is completely a different vibe, but I was listening to the podcast Comedy Bang Bang one time, and Paul F. Tompkins was on there, and he was playing a character named Button Willow McKittrick. And I was listening to this episode of Comedy Bang Bang while I was driving to Bakersfield, and as he said that, I passed by a sign that is directions to Button Willow McKittrick. And I was like,
oh, that's awesome.
Fucking Paul Tompkins was driving on the 46 and he saw this goddamn sign and he would be like, that's a funny name for a character. I'm going to do that. There's no other explanation because it's out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's two different places. It's like Button Willow and McKittrick. So like to have the sign that's pointing to both of them, I was like, this is the place. It's like the gas station where James Dean died.
Every time I turn into Waylon Jennings Drive, I go, wow, this is the road that the musician was about. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Every time. It's just like,
yeah, and actually New Hope, Pennsylvania is what the Star Wars movie is about.
Yeah. That's right. But no, what I was going to say with Joppa Road and with this whole album, really, my friends and I, we had this kind of, because when you're a teenager, there's places you can hang and, do what you want, drink beer, smoke cigarettes, stuff like that. We had I'd say about a 6 to 8 month gap in between the previous place we used to get fucked up, which was my friend's mom was really cool and would just let us do it over there. And then she moved.
I was the friend with the cool mom.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. So, and funny enough, that same lady is now really into QAnon, which is funny because I'm like, oh, you're worried about child endangerment now, not when they were letting me do bong rips and fucking drink beer in your fucking living room when I was 14.
Come on over, underage kids. Just get drunk at my house. Nothing seems weird.
Straight up. It's like that you need that person in your life, but then for them to now be like, oh, there's people that are ruining children's lives in high places. I was like, nope, it was happening in Terrence apartments and shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, that person moved, so we didn't have a place where we could go hang anymore. And at the very end of my senior year,
did she move to prison because she was somewhere she shouldn't have been on January 6th?
No, she just moved to Phoenix City, which is worse. So we had this little gap, and then eventually my friend Madison, his dad built a cabin out on 93 acres of land. It was a cattle farm about 12 miles outside of my hometown, and it was awesome because we could have bonfires, we could just absolutely go nuts out there, and there was a place to crash. It was it was Never Land, right? Just no adults, just fucking a bunch of kids having fun.
We drank Jesus juice all day,
straight up. But in between, Arbor Mist and Mad Dog 2020, the real Jesus juice. But in between, there was this little gap where we didn't have anywhere to go, and so what we did was we came up with what we call a country voyage, and the country voyages became very influential in terms of like my musical taste, because it would basically get 4 or 5 people, as many people as we could pile into a car, and we'd acquire a case of beer and then just drive out in the fucking country and drink beer, dude. And we would find a gas station to dump the empties in and then just keep going. and we just drive around aimlessly, and it was a really influential time in terms of like my taste in music, because everybody who I hung out with at that time, it was almost, we were all Templeton the Rat bringing back Words from the Fair, except it was burned CDs. So I remember very specifically,
and you were all
like,
friends with pigs.
Yeah, oh, hell yeah. Not the cop kind, the good kind.
No.
But
the fun kind.
yeah. But
all cops are bacon.
Yeah, the delicious kind. But I do remember, like, my friend Miles always rolled up. He's like really into funk music, so he would always roll up with like Earth, Wind and Fire and Parliament and that kind of thing. My friend Adam was really into glam rock, so that's where I found out about David Bowie and T-Rex. My friend Connor he was from Ireland, but he lived in Australia for a long time, so he, you know, brought it with like the Thin Lizzy, some Irish music, as well as like a bunch of weird Australian bands and shit like that. Yeah, straight up, dude. I got so lucky as a kid, man. Like, all of the people I grew up with were so cool. We're all still very tight today. And then I would always bring fucking Ween and shit. Yeah. And so we'd be rolling around listening to like Queen and David Bowie and Ween and fucking funk, you know, Earth, Wind and Fire and all this shit. And so Joppa Road, because it is a song about driving down a road, that is always going to take me, you know, it's corny, but it's the real thing about music, is that you can hear it a million times and it'll put you right back to wherever you heard it the first time, or whatever memory is most strongly associated with it. And with Joppa Road and with this whole record, it's definitely, you know, tied up in that time in my life. The funny story with the Country Voyage, where it turns kind of fucked up. Not fucked up, but gross. Have
you seen the movie Deliverance?
No, it's not that bad. But yeah, so my friend Miles would always be the driver, because he had a Chevy Trailblazer. He had the big car, so he would always be the driver. And we were,
and also because his name was Miles, and you thought it was funny.
That's true. Yeah, Bugman. Shout out to Bugman. But we were out in a town called Lafayette, which is spelled Lafayette and very much named after the Marquis de Lafayette, but in Alabama is pronounced Lafayette. So we're in Lafayette, and Connor, the Irish guy, has had a few too many, and we had just loaded up on snacks, and we start, we're eating bags of chips and stuff like that, and we pull into Lafayette. And there's empty beers in the car. We're all teenagers, and an Alabama State Trooper gets like right behind us. He hasn't lit us up, but he is trailing very, very, you know, closely, monitoring the situation. So Miles is just like 10 and 2, trying to go and meanwhile, Connor's like, Miles, I gotta fucking puke. And there is a cop right behind us. And so if this, 16-year-old Irishman opens the window and vomits out of it, we're all going to jail. And so we had just bought a big bag of sour cream and onion Lay's, and so we just dumped those out on the seat, and Connor just filled the bag. And
you don't realize how much you puke until you have a finite vessel in which to puke. Like, and then you realize it's like when you have to piss really bad and you get a bottle to pee in and you fill it up a third of the way through peeing, and you're like, how is there's I have a bladder, right? Or am I just full of water?
Yeah. And in that case, the Lay's bag doth overfloweth, and went so the
Frito
cop
giveth and
eventually
it taketh away.
The cop eventually did like trail off, but we had to like roll down all the windows and ride all the way back to Auburn, just because the whole car smelled like fucking vomit. And
what'd you guys do with the bag afterwards?
Connor had to hold it
back to the store.
Well, no, that was the funniest shit. Was Connor was literally left holding the bag, and Miles was like, "God damn it, don't drop that fucking bag!" And
I'm not gonna drop my puke. Don't worry.
Yeah, literally. And Connor's just like, and he's all fucked up, and he's just trying not to drop the bag. Yeah. So that's Joppa Road. Always think
he's
of
so
them
fucked up. He like his
voyages.
gun and crucifix fall out. He's just like, oh, where's me brother?
Oh no, his brother was there. Yeah, shout out to Owen. Owen went on to play drums.
Star in The
with
Walking
me.
Dead. I know. This next song.
Stupid.
This next song is probably, I imagine, on your journey when you had chips and puke in different bags, you also probably had some candy.
All right, weak link on the record. I must say there was a song. There's an outtake from this record called "Now I'm Freaking Out" that is so much better than Candy. Candy, this song,
really?
Yeah, this is the only song on this record that I think it's they're trolling the audience. They're like, how long is he just gonna say Candy? And the answer is I don't know, however long it is.
4 minutes and 2 seconds.
Yeah. So it goes on for a while. It doesn't change much. I'll cop to this one. For every white album, you're gonna have a fucking Bungalow Bill or some shit, So
I was wondering what you were gonna go to.
There was a period on YouTube early on where there was like a trend of creators making these really bizarre songs, and it was just like repetitive shit like this where they were dressed like a fucking a dog. They're in a dog suit or some shit. This is what this reminds me of. It's like it's supposed to be internet content or something. But obviously it's way before any of that shit.
Well, much to what I said at the beginning of this of Ween being pioneers, man. Here we are. They're doing annoying. They're being annoying on purpose to get a rise out of the audience way before YouTubers.
Yeah, the new format of your show is you guys talk seriously about music, and then I go, this reminds me of old YouTube videos, and like that's
that's Michael's musical oeuvre, is that Cowboy Screaming in the Mountains song, and Shoes by that Kyle girl.
Yeah. And Friday by Rebecca Black.
Yeah, but that's everybody.
Yeah,
everybody's got the... Everyone's
you should hear this guy play Gangnam Style. He knows every fucking word.
Mm-hmm. Come here for music, stay for old LimeWire porn references. We're Spin Doctors.
His kicks stay pumped up.
It's almost time to say goodbye, and it's not time yet, but when it is time, I want to be more multicultural about it, and I want to say something international, something like Buenas tardes, amigo.
Buenos tardes, amigo. This was the second song I fell in love with. This shit turns into Ennio Morricone by the end, like the fucking Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, like a guitar,
spaghetti western.
a guitar it's spaghetti western. By the end of it, like I don't even know how to describe this. Like the guitar at the end of this, it sounds so big. It's like the devil is playing a power line, just. Like it fucking
that
rocks,
might be
dude.
The coolest simile I've ever heard in my life. Guitar so big it's like the devil playing a power line.
I mean, yeah, that's the imagery that I get in my head is just the desert, like a John Ford sunset, and there's this fucking gunslinger, it's all haggard, and the Ghost Riders in the sky of the Johnny Cash song just appear, and they all just fucking some devil band is playing.
Tenacious D had an entire movie about playing Rock Against the Devil, and they didn't come up with him playing a fucking power line. That's, listener, if you take nothing else from the Spin Doctors show, I want you to use that with your friends. Take that one home with you.
The listener.
The proverbial listener.
The proverbial listener.
But yeah, this was the second song on the record that I really, fell in love with because Roses Are Free was my ticket in. I already liked that, and then I listened to the whole record. I was like, damn, that was good. But this was the one that stuck out because it's a story song. I made reference to Marty Robbins earlier, and I'll actually bring him back to something I said even before that, where we were talking about the Hollywood Walk of Fame. One of the weirdest things that ever fucking happened was about right before the pandemic, probably late 2019. There was a kid on the tour with me, and he was I'd say 13, 14, and his mom was like, do you have any stars that you want to see on the Walk of Fame? And the kid, without missing a beat, just goes, Marty Robbins. And I was like, how the fuck does this child know who the fuck Marty Robbins is? And it turns out that Marty Robbins'
that child was Benjamin Button.
No, Marty Robbins' song "Big Iron" is featured in, I think, Fallout, some big video game. Yeah. And the kid like loved the video game, and he loved that song, and it's a story song, and that's back to what I was saying about country music. It's the best thing. It's what Ray Charles said in the movie. It's like, why do you like country, Ray? He goes, it's the stories, man. And this story is like compelling as fuck. It's about a guy who's gets betrayed by his own brother, and and his mom wants revenge. Like, this is an epic tale, and it all caps off with, like I said, one of just the biggest, just the physically large guitar sounds I've ever heard that just comes in, and it is like some Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Ennio Morricone like level stuff. And so Buenos Tardes Amigo is just it's a deeply important song to me, just in terms of sound, in terms of like setting a mood, storytelling. And again, think of where we've been on this journey with this record, all of the shit that came before this, and now we have this like Western Mexican sounding folk ballad that concludes with just the gnarly guitar part, and like there's castanets like going in the back, like unimpeachable.
If you had to choose one track on this album that you could have lost your virginity to, what track would it be?
I mean, it's gotta be Freedom of 76. That's the sexy song.
Close. We were looking for spinal meningitis. Got me.
Sorry.
Nice try, Rivers. Thanks for playing. Everybody give it up for Rivers Langley, everyone. Survey says.
Yeah. No, it's gotta be Freedom of 76. And if you are gonna use chocolate and cheese as a sex mix, make sure you take candy out of the playlist, because that'll just bring everything to a halt. Everything else,
and maybe don't listen to the HIV song too.
Oh yeah, sure.
Oh, never mind. This is my tempo.
Yeah, this is fucking music too.
Yeah.
Don't you ever fuck on circus rides?
Bro, you ever smashed a Zydeco?
Fuck yeah, actually I have.
Wait, hold up. Listen. HIV. That's the only two lyrics of the song. Or it stops and he goes AIDS and then HIV.
I got a blowjob to some elevator music one time.
Yeah, well, so with this tune, obviously the idea is contrasting something horrifying with essentially like circus calliope music. This is like being for the benefit of Mr. Kite or something, where you're it's supposed to be a circus, and then what they're talking about is horrifying, which is a great way to talk about what American culture is. It is this
especially in '94.
And in '94 too, and I don't even mean just specifically with AIDS and HIV. I think that was just basically like the most horrifying thing that you could think of at that time. But when you listen to a song like this, it's stupid, sure, but the idea that they're trying to convey is that like, you're welcome to this circus. Everything, that the beautiful, fun things that American capital has brought us. But then every once in a while, the shit just comes to a stop, and it punches you in the face with like some real shit, like AIDS. Like it's
an indictment of the medical system.
Yeah. So I think this song, as dumb as it is, completely encapsulates how I think about American culture, where it is this like endlessly sweet, stupid circus with just a dark, fucked up heart underneath it. So I think it's a good social commentary, despite the fact it only has 2 words in the whole song.
We just find out it was actually the Dean Ween trying to give them an olive branch the next time they were riding on acid. And he was like, see how fun the music sounds, guys? And then he's like, AIDS. AIDS. God damn it, Dean. I'm like, HIV.
You're going to love my next song, Human Papillomavirus.
Well, one of the things they talked about in the 33 1/3 book is, because, obviously the song, some people were saying like, oh, you're being insensitive or whatever about the AIDS crisis. And then the guy went as far to interview this woman who like is a survivor of AIDS or an AIDS patient, and still to this day like gives talks, like motivational speeches all around the country about, sort of living with AIDS and all that stuff. And that is the intro intro that she's like, that's my walkout music. And so they blast that shit at her like conferences and stuff. So when she goes to speak, because she's like, listen, if you can't have a sense of humor, you're not going to survive anything. You're not going to survive life, let alone this awful, this awful condition. So, you might as well have some levity to it. But that is all how I've always read it, is like, this is, as Childish Gambino would say many years later, this is America. Listen to it. Isn't it fun?
Yeah.
And then they're going to take that shit away from you when you realize what it really is, which is monstrous.
Don't catch you slipping now.
Don't catch you slipping.
Weird that we would gatekeep. It's kind of weird that we would gatekeep somebody dealing with, even though he may not be from the community that was most stricken by it, or a person who suffers from AIDS. It's weird that we would kind of like gatekeep the ability to be like, oh, you want to take a really scary thing and make a lighthearted joke out of it that's not really aimed at anyone. And I really think
which is what fucking which is what comedy is.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
literally
It's getting
the definition. The definition of comedy is making the sacred ridiculous. So you take something as scary as disease and death and you make it fucking stupid. And that's empowering. And as far as that goes, like, they are both, straight dudes and stuff like that, but the city of New Hope is like a gay enclave, and John and Peter's, which is the bar that I think Dean still plays at pretty regularly, is owned by two gay dudes. I think every one of their friends is gay, so I think that was kind of one of those things of like, we're kind of representing where we're
both
from
of their names are
too.
synonyms for penis. And
Dean and
that's what Diener was talking about.
Now, this is a goddamn Beatles song. Like, this is, I put this on par, and I revere Lennon and McCartney. I put this on par with anything John Lennon and Paul McCartney ever wrote. It's that fucking good. And this song, this is the one, somebody, and I don't know who, but somebody is going to stick this at the emotional turning point of a movie at some point, and this will be fucking huge, because this is like an undeniably just gorgeous song, and it's short too. It's short as hell. It's so fucking beautiful. But this is the one that like gets me.
This
like,
is
when
the
I
better
hear
version of Wings.
Yeah, very much.
A little bit.
Weens.
And the little
Weengs. It's a joke that works better in script. Sorry.
The little solo in the middle here that you're gonna hear in a second is the first solo that I learned when I started playing guitar. I started playing guitar way too late. I think I was like 17 or 18, so I was past the point where I was ever going to be good at it, but I was like, I just want to like kind of figure it out. This right here, which I think is done on a synthesizer in this, but I know this guitar part.
I was trying to figure out what that was. Is it a guitar?
No, I think it's just a synth. It's a keyboard layered through phaser. But man, listen to this line. I don't think I will ever return again, my friend. Like, oh god, gorgeous. And when Ween broke up, when I'm like the way Fish broke up, went on hiatus before it became the quest for more money, because the sad reality of the music business now is that no band can afford to stay broken up for very long, which is, I guess, good for fans, but anyway, when Ween they broke up in 2012 and then came back in 2016 and opened with this song, their first show back.
Nice. Which
is significant because the last line of the song is, I don't think I will ever return again, my friend. And it's like, hey, they're back, So this is a song this song has been with me, for all of these like stages of my life. And it is the one that like really, like, you put that song on and I'm just like, let's just listen to it. What Diener was talking about. That's the one out of this whole record. That's just one of the most gorgeous songs ever written.
It's funny that it has such like a casual name too.
Yeah, well, they wrote songs about each other. Diener is the guitar player, obviously, and then the previous record, Chocolate and Cheese, Dean wrote a song for Gene called "I Saw Jeaner Crying in His Sleep," which is basically just him, making fun of him. I saw Jeaner crying in his sleep, they make reference to each other in their songs, and then Gene reciprocated by writing the best Lennon McCartney song that Lennon McCartney did write.
He's like, there you go, top that. Hey, Dean, don't shit where you eat.
Yeah. Someone actually, we've been doing this thing on our podcast where we get people to write in for top three, is like list your top three, whatever it is. And somebody said top three album enders. And this immediately sprung to mind. Because
it does feel like a wrap-up song.
Don't you ever think of me? Like, it's a beautiful song. It is country. It's got that country step up. Boom, 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 boom. It is kind of like it is a cowboy song, but it's not as stark as Drifter in the Dark. It's it's got the drums going in the background, but I mean, this is the tempo of riding a horse right here, and the advice is good. The advice is better than good. The advice is, we were talking about at the beginning of this, things to write on my grave. I'll put "Don't shit where you eat" on my grave. That is about the best advice, because without getting, I mean, it's going to be inherently name droppy for what I'm about to say, but I wasn't the one who said it. I just overheard this conversation. But we saw Bill Burr go up and do the hour that eventually became the black and white special that he taped for Netflix. I saw him run that special at Cantor's Deli in LA, which is a very small room. And so there, it's packed out obviously, but packed out, there's 50 people, right? And right before he went up, I was with a friend of mine, and Bill is just like standing there just writing, he's sitting at one of the booths in the deli just writing in his notebook, and my friend, who has just no fucking filter at all, just goes up to him and he's like, hey Bill, I'm a huge fan. And he goes, what? He's like, I just started doing stand-up about like 3 years ago. Do you have any advice? And Bill Burr just goes, yeah, hang out by the door, don't be an asshole, and eventually someone will open the door for you. And I think about that shit all the time, and that is exactly the same thing as "Don't shit where you eat." Like, don't be an asshole, hang out by the door, and eventually someone will open for you. Like, it's the words that have rung in my head ever since. And I did legitimately think about this song when he said that. It's like, who said it was hard to climb a peak that you can't reach? I tell you it's an easy thing when it's you and me, but don't shit where you eat. Fuck, that bars.
That's bars. That's
great.
Bars.
That's bars. That is bars. That is vibes. We are savage. 2022 is when this was recorded.
Ween on fleek.
We are on fleek. we are dabbing. We're doing the whole thing.
This was the bomb.
No, this was the bomb.
Did I do that? Did I do it right?
Yeah, good work, Dad.
No problem.
Michael, what'd you think?
That was amazing.
Album?
I fucking I really do think I'm gonna get into Ween, and not just because of this album, but like the sound. You can hear how much influence they must have had. You can't. It's hard to prove influence on things, right? It's hard to be like, oh, like listen to that. That's very Modest Mousy, but like there's just notes of it in the time period, and you're kind of like, wow, there's like little things where I can hear they really did echo through the 90s, at least that time period, and maybe even the early 2000s with some of the stuff, because it's
I think throughout the 2000s. I think throughout the 2000s, and I think like throughout indie rock too, especially, there is a lot of that where, and again, it's that, you can see it in an artist like, I don't know that he was directly influenced by Ween, but it's definitely worth pointing out that somebody like Sturgill Simpson, who comes into it from country music and then makes a record like
Sound. Though.
But then
he's one of the few new guys that I like. Yeah.
And fearlessly, sticks to his gun. So he's like, oh, you think I'm Waylon Jennings 2.0? Fuck you. I'm going to make Sailor's Guide to Earth, which is essentially an Otis Redding record. Oh, you think I'm the savior of, country and soul music? Fuck you. I'm going to make Sound and Fury, which is basically like, just extremely harsh, almost like Jack White, sort of Black Keys electronica album and stuff like that. So I think, that idea of being fearless with genres, especially now, is going to be, it's going to be the thing that that they're remembered for as being part of the vanguard of that, of not having to. It was the promise of alternative rock that I don't know ever really came to fruition, right? But the promise of alternative rock was that, a band like Soundgarden could exist at the same time as Alanis Morissette, and it's not weird, you know, even though one is very much like kind of folky influence, but it's got a little bit of a hard edge, and the other one is just straight rock music with this incredible vocalist. But it didn't matter because it was all, you know, that's the whole dream of the 90s bullshit of you know, you can be everything at once.
Pharrell Williams' entire career is based off of his versatility and bizarre use of outside influences, and just how much he's influenced music. Now it's almost standard place for producers to have to come in with this roster of understanding of different types of music and different styles, because now sampling just doesn't come from like the boom bap hip hop era where it was just like grab something that was memorable from, you know, the Motown period or the, you know, those periods of music. Now it's like, it's just this crazy eclectic people nowadays, especially the Gen Z. It's bizarre, the music that they listen to. It is so varied and interesting compared to what we had available for us, that it's,
well, I mean, it's the benefit of growing up with the internet your entire life and having like
exactly,
you know, be a repository for music for your entire life. But that's the show. Rivers, give the people where to find you. Show them your podcast.
So you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Rivers Langley, and you can check out my podcast. It's called The Goods from the Woods. It comes out every week. We talk about music and dumb stuff we find on the internet, and snack foods and energy drinks, and we read YouTube comments from insane people on regular you know, classic rock and country songs, so that's always fun. It'll be somebody like, "You betrayed me, Tina, and I hate your guts, and your daddy is an asshole," and it's like, why did you leave this on Boston's More Than a Feeling? You know, so we have a good time every week at The Goods Pod on Twitter, and The Goods from the Woods anywhere that great podcasts can be found. And also you can check me out every month at Pro Wrestling. I do ringside commentary for a really great comedy show where occasionally a wrestling match that is also awesome breaks out. We've got guys wearing gigantic heads made of cheese, and we have a three-headed giraffe, a kaiju monster that attacks from time to time. So anyway, check that out, Pro Wrestling, every month at the Burbank Moose Lodge. And that is my plugs.
I feel sufficiently plugged. Thank you for being here, man. Thanks for sharing this album with us. It was so much fun.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
And of course, thank you listeners for listening to the show. If you like the show, tell your friends about it. Tell them that there's a cool show they need to listen to. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at SpinDocPod. We're mostly active on Instagram. That Twitter's there just for posterity. And then you can send us an email if you want to talk to us about why our opinions are wrong or incredible at spindoctorspod@gmail.com. Big thank you to Pale Blue Dot for our theme song For You off of the album Kingdom, Phylum, Class, Order, Family, Genus, Species. It's a great album. Go get it wherever great albums are sold. I was about to say as always, but thank you, Michael, for stepping in. Thank you for being the Nick to my Rick this episode.
Thanks for having me. I'm so glad that I could be here. I think that it was incredibly important that I was here today.
Yeah, we'll probably do a couple more of these before Nick comes back.
I can't wait, man. Thanks for having me. I love you.
I love you too,
I'm Michael
pal.
Zalusky. You can follow me. You'll hear me on the podcast more. That's fine with me.
You can follow him at basically Cardi B, which is not a lie.
Plug your family, your beautiful new family.
You can hear me talk about my kid on Facebook. Other than that, you got to pretty much just you'll have to just hear this sweet voice every episode on Spin Doc Podcast from this day forward. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, I've been Rick, and now you say I've been Nick.
I've been Nick.
And this has been the Spin Doctors. Hope you've enjoyed your medicine.